wonderful Saturday night. And joining us tonight, we have our very own Emerald Knight Photos.
How's it
So,
going?
oh man, I'm excited to have you here because we've talked about this a couple of times before, but we're going to go into some toy photography talk.
Yep.
And now we're finally actually getting out of that conversation because, I mean, realistically, that's kind of like the new play form, you know? And I think that's really cool. But before we get kickstarted into that conversation, let's jump in here into the chat tonight. First off, we had Nolan here waiting for us saying, "Hey, Oz in chat, and hope everyone had a great week." Absolutely, brother. So good to have you here again, as usual. Thanos Copter, always can count on him to be here each Saturday night. Good to have you here, brother. All right. And let's keep scrolling down here. We got all the beautiful in chatting, which I love. And Master Versal Toy Hunter is joining us this evening. Always honored to have Eldor join in. Damon is here as well. Actually, I was trying to see if Damon wanted to jump on because he does some really awesome toy photography too, all over Instagram. Definitely go check out his accounts. And Big Sis has jumped in to join us here tonight as well. Hey, Carol, good to have you here tonight. Dawn Roberts, one of our newest members of the chat and subscribers, is joined in as well. How's it going, Dawn? Good to have you. All right, and let's see here. Oh, God, this guy's in the chat. Man, he is always causing trouble and talking shit. God. And Ray Black has joined as well. Thank you, Ray, for being here each week as well. Man, gotta love having everybody coming in. And this is great too. I love the response our guests get. Everybody is so happy to see you here. And that is awesome. I love it. Oh, and also newest Ozhole Pains Toy Samples is in the house. What is going on? All right, man. So, Emerald, what got you started into the toy photography?
Probably. I mean, I think it's always kind of been a part of me in some fashion. I mean, as kids, seeing the cover art and the box art of all the of you know either the figures or the play sets or the vehicles, and that's always kind of like you know I've always kind of gravitated towards that. But originally, I was actually going to I was trying to get into the filmmaking field when I was younger.
Okay.
So I worked for a couple production houses here in Texas, and I mean, just low level stuff, just as a production assistant, interns, that kind of deal. But I was able to learn from a couple of director photographies and lighting directors, just the nuances and the basic foundation of lighting and how to light a set, how to, even though it's live action, it's motion pictures, not still photography, still kind of the basics, they're pretty much there. So, but this was like in the early 2000s. So, it was kind of hard to kind of break into that. So I ended up having to get my job that I currently been at for almost 20 years. So, I've been doing that. But then through COVID, kind of, everything kind of shut down. And since then, I've been working remote, been 100% working from the house and wanting to just do different things, just branch out, and it was during that time that I actually got back into collecting because I kind of fell off collecting probably in my early 20s, and it just that's always been kind of, anybody who's a collector knows that it's like kind of like they may fall off or they may stop after a while, but then they get right back into it,
You do. You do.
and I think I actually started with just seeing how the figures are just so just masterfully made now. I mean, way better than what we had as kids. And then seeing on Instagram, seeing on just online these amazing photos that toy photographers do, and it's just wow, like that's I wouldn't mind trying something like that and seeing them putting them in diorama scenes or against backdrops and just kind of just being inspired by that and wanting to actually just say, what, I can give that a go. I can give that a try. And it started with I think I got the Storm collectibles, the Sub-Zero and Scorpion.
Nice. Oh man. Wow.
Yeah. And And it was actually the promo shots from Storm Collectibles that kind of got me into like, wow, that's like, the way the lighting is, just everything. Just because the studio shot still, I mean, they still looked amazing. So that was kind of like my first kind of, yeah, I'm gonna just give it a shot and see what happens and get on Instagram and just go from there. And I mean, my early stuff is really, really now it's just like, and any toy photographer will say like, yeah, they don't like looking at their early stuff because it can get kind of,
Always.
yeah, there's like, oh, why did I do that? It's like, oh, that's kind of bright. Like, why, what was I doing here? So, and now, and kind of what you were saying earlier, or to start off the show, was this is kind of like a new way of really embracing the hobby of collecting and taking it to a different level of like they're not just sitting on a shelf. I can take them out, I can pose them, I can do dynamic poses with them, I can do dynamic lighting and just create a scene, create some sort of like just event or some sort of feeling based on taking a photo of them and posing them and getting them set up that way.
Yeah, it definitely is that. I mean, kind of similar to you, like I don't do toy photography now, but when you picked up that toy, there was normally that kind of imagery on the box, whether it was of the toy or whether it was just artist rendition of it. And really going from there, that kind of sets in your mind what you're going to do with it, how you're going to play with it. And, being able to now, you know, as you get older, you kind of lose part of that imagination almost.
Yeah.
If you don't keep working with that, you lose it. It's part of that creativity process. So it's really, really kind of fun to see, what, everybody's kind of tapping back into this and they're doing some of those things that you only imagined doing as a kid. Because who didn't take their toys outside and imagine like this epic fight between some GI Joes and some Cobras? I mean, half the time you spent like an hour and a half to an hour setting it up,
Yep.
and then you played with it for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And but you spent all day doing it, kind of thing. And now it's like, well, how do I go back and do that? And toy photography is a great example of spending a lot of time setting something up, and you're trying to get this perfect shot. And I think it's really, really amazing what you guys in the toy photography community do. Because I mean, that's really the new way to play is toy photography. I mean, trust me, I still get down on the floor, and I definitely, definitely, am all about playing with some toys. But again, it's just, this is a different way to do it, and there's a lot that goes into some of these photos and what you guys do. So I just think it's an incredible new way to not only get into some art, but as well as have some fun with your toys. Now, also wanted to give a big shout out to Sergeant Slaughterhouse. Zazel has joined us this evening. So good to have you here, brother. Thank you for showing up for the show. All right. So, when you're taking your photos, does it start off as like some kind of a mental image? Or do you just kind of like get inspired by something you've seen and say, oh, you know what? I'm going to set something up around this. How do you get your inspiration for your shots?
I guess it depends. Sometimes, yeah, there is, it could be, sometimes I'm just inspired from other photographers and seeing them, create a scene, and maybe I can tweak that, or maybe I can, or just getting the idea of like, oh man, that's like, maybe I can do a setting of the Joes in a jungle somewhere and just put my style into it. But a lot of times it just, I think it comes from that filmmaking, that kind of creative mind that I had growing up, and just like just coming up with something like the one I did the other day, or just I think today or the day before with the sorceress and Lionel. That just kind of just came just off, like just that just like completely just, oh, you know what, that would be kind of cool. I can kind of see that, and kind of just the whole idea being that she's got the um Shira sword. It's like, hey, the idea, not questioning why Lionel is in that particular universe, but just that he's there, he showed up, and that He-Man's gone missing, and now you have another version of Skeletor he's going to have to battle, but he's got to battle both Skeletors. So now he's got to,
Right.
he has to get some backup. And sorcerers are saying, hey, you take this sword and, go find her. And it was just, again, just a quick little idea that I had of kind of mixing those crossovers together. And then sometimes it's just something that I may have an idea, a mental image of how I want it to go about, but then it's like it'll develop into something else, and I'll have to like it'll wind up being something that I didn't even plan for, and they're like, "Oh, that's great, that's awesome." I mean, there's some shots where or setups where I've done, and I've spent like an hour just trying to get it nail it, and the lighting's not right, nothing's right, and then I'll start shutting off, lights, and I'll start moving the camera, and then I'll look and kind of just like, wait a minute, if I just leave that light on and maybe move this one over here, and it'll be something that it wasn't what I was anticipating, but it comes out better, and it's
Right.
like a whole lot more, it provides a better story or in a better shot. So again, sometimes it could just be serendipitous and just happen that way.
Right. So a couple of comments coming in here about it, and of course Damon was saying, and as an adult, much better at posing,
Yeah.
which definitely helps too. Because like as you're a kid, you kind of, I used to pose a lot of my toys and set them up on like our different bookshelves and stuff in the room. But now, not even just so much as an adult, but again with the new toys and how they are, with the different points of articulation, and you can really get a lot of better poses with them. I mean, Spider-Man's probably one of the
Yeah.
most awesome figure builds out there now because of, the toys we had as a kid for Spider-Man were not nearly as dynamic in being able to get into those epic poses he does for web slinging when he's in the comics.
Oh no, I remember the toy, even though it was like it was one of my favorites, the Toy Biz. Yeah, that the one with the suction cups,
Yep.
and that's all
Oh
it
yeah.
was just like, I mean, just knee joints, and
Put
then
them up
that was
there.
it. It's
Yep.
like, oh, that's it. But no, you're right.
Like,
It just, yeah, there's just so many. I mean, like the Joes. I mean, Storm Shadow. You can get him in like all kinds of like weird, funky, torques and poses and positions, and a lot of times that kind of helps too. Just going through and scrolling through Instagram, saying and just trying to get an idea as far as posing, because that's one thing I do want to get better at is doing more dynamic posing, and scrolling through and seeing people's pictures and like, oh, that's a cool. I may have to save that for a photo for a shoot, down the road, as far as like that's a cool pose. I need to, maybe save that for later.
right. So I wanted to bring this up here. My sister brought up the fact that she liked using the rock wall that we had in our backyard. When we were growing up, we had this really decently sized backyard, and there was this whole large part that was, like you walked out of the house, you went down 2 steps, it was the yard. And then it went back and it started to slope up a hill. Well, our block specifically all seemed to have like these rock walls in the backyard. Now, ours wasn't as nice and neat as some of the other yards were. Ours was kind of like a little bit more dilapidated looking. But that was great though, because
Yeah.
again, when you're playing with stuff like He-Man and She-Ra, like you picture these almost like archaic, dilapidated, because you got Castle Grayskull,
Yeah.
it looks like it's this fallen apart castle. And so like you could really get some really fun poses out back on that rock wall with even just a 5 point articulated figure. But yeah, you would put them up, you could set all them up in different poses on these rock wall that looked just so amazing. So thank you, Carol, for bringing that up because that was really, really awesome. So let's start this comment just so I can make sure I keep it up here. Dano says he's still fumbling with his photos, but sometimes he's happy with how they turn out. And I mean, I'm loving to see the support here too, because Carol's jumped in and said, Thanos, I enjoy them. And Damon has also said, dig your shots, Thanos Copter. And you know what? And Payne's Toy Samples also said he's still learning on the photography, but it's fun. What advice would you give to people who are really just starting to get into and learning about toy photography? Yeah, take it from there, and then we'll define the question a little bit more, I guess, as we go on.
Really, just don't get don't give up. Don't get frustrated. Don't get discouraged. if again, it's not everybody starts. I mean, nobody starts off like the the greatest or the best. I mean, and I mean, I'm not. I'm nowhere near as talented as some of the people that are on there, like Eddie and his toys and Skyjar Walker and
Yeah.
Sir Dork and all those. Like, those guys are amazing. But I mean, but I am pleased as far as the progress I have made. And within a year, just again looking back at my old photos and just seeing like it's a work in progress the way I look at it. And it's like you can always, be better and just help improve yourself. And again, you could just do it, in increments, whether it's your camera, just if all you have is your phone, then that's, nothing wrong with that. I mean, you want to use what you have to the best that you can. Me, unfortunately, I had some stuff, from my, filmmaking days. I had a tripod, a pretty, pretty nice tripod for my video camera that I used to use, back in the day. But so I use that, and then my wife, she actually has a pretty decent DSLR, and now I'm using it more than she is because well, she when we got married, she used to live up in the Panhandle in Texas, and so she used to take a gorgeous like shots of the canyons and just of the scenery out there. But now here in the in the city, yeah, it's not so much, not too many chances for outdoor photography like that. But now I use it. Well, and it's not just sitting there collecting dust. I'm using it now, so so that's a good thing there. But again, you just use what you can, and even if it's as far as lighting, even if you have to use like a tabletop light or something simple. I mean, it's still lighting, and just you learn as you go. And again, it's digital, so just it's on a memory stick. So all you gotta do is keep, or it's on your phone. So all you gotta do is just keep taking photos, and just delete them. The ones that you don't think are any good, and there's endless time, endless opportunities to take photos in this day and age. Whereas back in the day, yeah, it was a lot more difficult.
Yeah, I think that's definitely one thing that's probably helped a lot of people get into photography these days. You know, Photography itself is still very expensive.
Oh yeah,
It's certainly not a cheap hobby to get into. But, we were growing up, kids don't even understand how the idea of developing a photo works anymore. They think of, oh yeah, I just take my little memory stick and I go into like Walgreens and they print me off a bunch. Or, I've got a decent printer at home and I bought some, photo stock and now I'm printing off, prints from there. Like, they don't realize that it was like, man, you used to send your film away and you might not see it for a month
yep.
before it would come back developed. So, wanted to give a big shout out to my buddy's Customs joining in with us tonight. He was a little late, but he is definitely here with us as always. Thank you for being here, bud. Always good to have you. And it's I like the fact that right now I think we've got like an amazing mix of people in the chat because there are some people who are just starting out. There are people in the chat who are interested and haven't even begun to start doing toy photography yet. Like I've been interested for a while, and I see again like shots like yours, and you mentioned like Skyjar Walker. I join in on his IG lives,
Hmm.
on the weekends on occasion and see what he's up to. Just the sheer amount of work that you guys can put into this, and Damon himself, man, like
Yeah.
he'll take some black and white photos, and I actually shot him a message one time like, dude, you should do a whole black and white channel on IG. And he looked up Toy Noir and found out that like one other guy was kind of using something similar, but he was able to use it, and he set up this whole black and white thing because he was doing these really awesome dynamically lit shots that were very film noir-esque. And it just looks so good, and again, it's so artful, and the stories that you can tell with it too. And there are guys out there who are doing stuff like, I don't know if any of you guys follow Jelly Eyed Kraken. He's another guy on
I think I've seen
IG.
his stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, he uses the reaction Merman and Stinkor, and they go on like different adventures. And
Yeah, I think I've seen some of his stuff. Yeah.
yeah, he does like little skits with them and with random other toys all the time. So it's not even just that he's doing like still photography. He's setting up a shot and then he's
Yeah.
reframing it and setting it up again and then reframing it and setting it up again, taking multiple shots, in a very film like manner. But, of course, it's chopped because it's more like a comic strip.
Right.
And I love the fact that there is this outlet for it. Um, Also, got here, absolutely Emerald Knight. Sometimes
Mhm.
serendipity is a lifesaver.
Yeah.
Um, Carol mentioning that she keeps trying to expand IG photos, knowing damn well you can't. I know, me too. Same. I'll be like clicking on it, like, why isn't this blowing up?
Yeah.
And you never stop learning. This is
No.
probably one of the best things ever, no matter what it is that you're doing. Anything, whether it's really, again, toy photography, toy collecting, even. You can find ways to be a better toy collector.
Hmm.
Because sometimes you start off and you're just trying to grab whatever, but like you find and you've refined your habits and how you do things. But yeah, in anything, people approach me about doing like the YouTube stuff and they're asking me questions, and I'm like, I've got no idea what I'm doing. I'm still learning it as I go. But
Yeah.
the greatest thing is I got several guys who have been doing this for some time that help guide me, and whatever advice they give me, I always pass down. And Payne's Toy Sample saying, need good stands too for doing aerials. Any recommendations?
You can just check Etsy. There's or Etsy or eBay. I think the set that I got right now, I think I got them on Etsy. Um, but I mean, really a lot. I mean, I tried making my own when that's kind of just using like a wire hanger for clothes and kind of just bending it and kind of just making that circular base and then having it point up and then maybe put something on the end there to kind of like smooth it out. And then, so it's not like a rigid piece of metal, so it doesn't like jam into your figures and scratch them up. But yeah, definitely there's eBay, Etsy, all kinds of shops out there if you want to if you want to purchase some.
Right. Yeah. And that's really, really good to see because, again, certain photo stands are just, or rather the figure stands. I said photo stands because we're talking about photos, but depending on what you're looking for, you can get them in a range of different prices. Like I know NECAs are pretty pricey
Yeah.
when you're looking at some of the other ones, but Etsy is always a great place to go for looking for a lot of stuff. And then I've also noticed some guys just use wire,
Yeah.
that more sturdier wire to kind of do it without having to spend a whole lot.
Yeah,
Uh,
I've seen some, and I'm still trying to master that. Like Realm of Toys, Kingdom, the ones who focus more on professional wrestling shots.
okay.
Um, and of course there's a lot of aerial type moves that they have to do in that, and they actually
Yeah.
use like fishing wire. So they'll have like a
Oh, no way.
yeah, they'll have like a pole at the top of their set that they're using, and they'll run the fishing wire around the figures and make sure it's tight enough so that they can get them in that like if they're jumping off the top rope, or if they're you know in some pose where it's like they're off, they're pretty aerial and
Yeah.
dynamic and
That
um
suspended aerial RKO out of
right.
nowhere shot.
Exactly, yeah. We're both characters are pretty much like parallel. Like, I mean, you'll have Randy Orton, doing it, and then somebody, about to get smashed. And I asked him one time, I was like, I just, and everybody's so helpful. That's the great thing. It's again, in the comments, you never stop learning, like Damon was saying, and that's what
Absolutely.
I just hit him up going, hey, so what exactly do you use for that? Because I've seen your reels where it goes by real quick for the behind the scenes, and then I was like, is that wire? Like, what is that exactly? Because that's just like, that's so cool. And yeah, they just said, yeah, it's just regular old fishing wire you can find at the in the sporting goods section. But it does take practice though, because it's just I've had so many times trying to get that to work, and it's just like trying to get like my bazooka to have it where he's like kind of in the air like that with it and just like parallel, and of course he's just like I don't make it tight enough, so he's just pretty much just swinging, and it's
Yeah.
just you really have to have it really real tight, and it takes time. I can imagine that's where a lot of that effort and a lot of that um just the time it takes into it, knowing that man, it's like those guys put a lot of work into those photos because it takes a lot of patience and a lot of time to get that just to set that up, and then you have to get your lighting set up, then you have to make sure it's framed correctly in focus, and then you go into your editing, your post work, and it's just yeah. I give it up to anybody that does those kind of shots.
Absolutely. Because they are really dynamic in how they go. And it's phenomenal that there is that patience, but that's kind of the name of the game with photography.
Yeah.
So I want to give a shout out to Elgin, who's joined us from Cracktastic Plastic. Thank you for being here this evening. As a matter of fact, we need to chat more coming up soon because we were talking about doing a Predators and Aliens episode, or maybe we'll break it up into two different ones. That's got to happen real soon. Um, so we also got a recommendation from Payne's Toy Samples. Use a full can and heavy gauge wire, bend around the can,
Yep.
and still have to weigh it down. Yeah. And Elgin mentioning he's used fishing line in videos, so it works pretty good. Excellent. Uh, and Nolan has mentioned black thread works good depending on the background. Absolutely.
Hmm.
I have seen that from quite a few people there, so that's actually a really good tip. Uh, so one of the other things, again, when we mentioned before about Skydro Walker, and whenever he's doing, he loves to say that phrase, wake, bake, and create when he
Yeah.
does his lives. He is hilarious to watch. And, it's like him and a lot of those guys on IG, when they're doing those lives, are creating really, really incredible dynamic sets. And one of the things that I think I like most about when I'm on IG and looking at photos is, like you were mentioning, that behind the scenes look, like how the
Yeah.
shot looks before they edit it and get it posted for the scene that they're making. And this will tie in more with, again, the talk of patience that we were just briefly mentioning. But and Sir Dork, his shots are absolutely
Oh yeah.
amazing too with what he does. So in a lot of that, though, you're talking about taking a 6 or 7 inch action figure. Some people even go as small as the 3.75, but that doesn't always really work as well. Again, depending on what kind of shots you're doing, because
Hmm.
certain shots actually work really well with that. Um, and this comes from earlier today, even there was discussion on the Discord server. Gamer Bud was asking some questions about the trees in one of
Oh,
your
yep.
recent photos. Prop making. So, what do you find that you have more success with? Trying to get like a natural shot using nature that's around, or making some props to help enhance the shot? And I also wanted to ask about this because um, Thanos Copter in a lot of his shots, and I know with my buddy's customs as well, doing some of his, he just recently actually bought a whole bunch of aquarium plants,
Yep.
which is really cool. But and where was it? There was a comment from Payne's Toy Samples about getting into shelf dioramas as well to create those. How much time do you spend in making some of the props that you do?
Really, it was just the only things I have made are the trees that me and Garen were talking about on the Discord server. Most everything else, I mean, I've tried to do other stuff. I've made a couple of walls and a couple of other kind of like castle-like backdrops. But yeah, I mean, I give it up to the people that make their dios, or even make again, going back to Etsy. I was on there earlier today because I really want to get a payphone and a mailbox, and even just like those little the parking, I guess, parking barricades
Okay.
that you see, because just that little bit, I mean, it just really adds so much more depth into a photo.
Yeah.
For the most of the time, I just use a lot of my prints from diorama prints and extreme sets.
Yeah.
Um,
I
and
like those extreme sets. I actually bought
yeah,
one of the city ones for Connor to use with his Batman Imagine
yeah,
Next.
yeah, and they work well. I mean, because I remember that's that's pretty much what I was using growing up. Before, I mean, I would always beg my, before I actually got the playset that I was, begging my dad for, I would always just use a box and just, go in there and just draw on it and just, okay, this is the firehouse, this is the Terror Dome, this is, the Turtles sewer headquarters and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I mean, if I was more talented, yeah, I would love to be able to make my own props or make my own sets. But I just like gamer, but I've kind of gone into the aquarium type realm and got a couple of pieces, just again, just as filler, just if it's like just off to the side of the shot, but it gives a little bit more depth of there's something else in that frame rather than just the figure and whatever backdrop that you're using. But yeah, definitely part of my next things I would probably get would be like a either again just even a dumpster, just can a dumpster. And I've seen people
Yeah.
on another Discord that I'm on with toy photographers, and they do amazing work. The gentleman's name is Trunk Meat, and I keep telling him, man, you gotta when's your Etsy open up? Because I you can take my money all day
Right.
because he makes amazing stuff. And yeah, he'll post it on the Discord. I'm like, man, like he made like a full on like a bar, like a
Oh,
building,
okay.
but like on the outside, it almost looks like Moe's bar from The Simpsons, the outside of it. But
Sure.
it's just like this, I mean, massive thing that you just, yeah, just set it. And then if you have like another, building type diorama, you can get really engaging shots and really impressive shots with that. But yeah, I mean, as far as making props, yeah, that I'm not that talented. I got lucky with those trees. I was just like messing around, and I took inspiration from different YouTube videos I'd seen and kind of just melded it together. But essentially, it's just because I really wanted to get trees to kind of actually do some more foresty backgrounds or
Right.
forest shots, because I mean that a lot of that is um, either it's in a castle or it's in the forest somewhere for motu type shots. So, and I was looking on eBay and Etsy, and it's kind of expensive for some of these. I mean, they look great looking, but it's just like it's like I really don't want to spend that much. And then I again just perusing YouTube and kind of just getting ideas here and there, and it just yeah, all it is just paper towel roll. That's that's all it is, and then just taking some wrapping it up in masking tape, and then wrapping that in foil, and then just putting some paper mache, either toilet paper or paper towels around it, letting it dry, and then you just spray paint that black, and then just do some dry brushing with like brownish paint, brown, different shades of brown.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because that's really what gives you that depth,
Yeah,
making like your own kind of shading and doing those painting techniques. Because that can give you a different type of definition that, lighting may miss, or that it's easier to pick up with the
right.
proper lighting afterwards, which really helps with the dynamic of the shot. So I was trying to find them here because you were mentioning like some of those particular items, and there is a guy who I follow on IG who actually makes miniatures of so many different things.
Oh
And
yeah,
I
there's
believe he does sell them too. But like I'm blown away by this guy's work, cuz like he'll be taking pictures of it and you'll think it's like an actual like full-size thing,
yeah,
and then he backs out and it's like the size for a train garden.
yeah.
And I love it. It's fantastic. So again, wanted to give a big shout out to the Duchess of Darkness joining us this evening. Thank you for being here, Duchess. So good to have you here with us, and again, each and every week. I love seeing you guys showing up each week. This is awesome. Like, it makes me feel good to keep doing this. So, scrolling through the chat here again, because we got some more stuff. Which, by the way, Elgin definitely said yes, he's going to be totally coming on, and we're going to talk aliens and predators soon. So we'll get that set in motion. Everybody loves those two alien baddies.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And wait a minute here, because there was another thing that I wanted to pick up. So we've also got Nolan kicking in with, depending on the type of look you're looking for, or going for both, give two very different looks, but both can look great. And I think he's talking about props and as well as just using background shots.
Oh
Because
yeah.
one of the things that I've definitely noticed that, or rather, the question overall, because I was saying, what do you find easier, is going outside and taking the pictures or setting up your own scene yourself? Um, and Payne's Toy Samples also mentioning
That's a good one.
about looking at terrarium stuff. Yeah. Because I've certainly, like, you can get that cork that's made for like
Yep.
reptile terrariums, and it looks like a really nice, huge fallen down tree,
Hmm.
which is really, really cool to pose with. And I've seen that in a couple shots before too. And my sister was saying she needs those links, please. So we'll have to
Hmm.
update some stuff. And Paynes is mentioning
Yeah.
3D printing stuff to use as miniatures. I have noticed a huge increase in the amount of people with 3D printers, and they're 3D printing one or two items, and they make it just for a shot, and that's like about it.
Yeah.
So I think that's really, really cool. And again, like that's where you get into that Etsy thing. Like you make one or two for your shot, and again, people are going to be like, "Hey, I really like that." Well, now it's like, well, maybe I should print a few more, and maybe I could sell them. And the
Yep.
best part is too, like you sell them to people as unpainted, super cheap, or if you take the time to paint them up and weather them yourself, you can sell it to them for a bit more. Because it takes a little bit more work to do that. So you can really kind of set up your own thing. And there are plenty of people out there who are willing to buy because they just don't have the ability to do it themselves.
Right. I've actually seen also where they'll just sell the actual file,
Yeah,
and then you just, if you have a 3D printer, then you just buy that for way cheaper than than actually having it, and then you just print yourself. You just download the file, and then I'm not a 3D printer expert, so I guess you just once you get the file, then you can just go in there and just upload it to your printer, and then prints it out, and then yeah, you paint it and weather it yourself.
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and that's cool too, because again, I know I had a 3D printer. A buddy of mine lent me one and I was experimenting with it and I wanted to start making cosplay props for people. I had a lot of friends that do cosplay, and the number one thing they always complained about was the time and the cost of materials it took to make a lot of their props.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, heck, if I get a 3D printer and start doing this, and I talked to a buddy and he hooked me up, and I was looking at different STL files and stuff that you could get from free download places such as Thingiverse, where you didn't actually have to
Oh,
pay
okay.
for it. And it was really cool. Unfortunately, though, there were some complications. He ended up needing that 3D printer back because his other 3D printer that he had broke, and then it went from there. Now, another new buddy of mine, not new, very old friend of mine, who recently he and I have been talking. He has a 3D printer. He got one of the Elegos, and been working on some 3D printing stuff for again future hopeful toy line in the near
Oh,
future, far future, not sure. We'll figure it out, and we're going to try to get out there. So,
cool.
Denoscopter stating that on his latest anti-eternia shot, I lined the table with orange tissue paper just to
Oh,
hide the
yeah.
table and simulate lava. And
Hmm.
that's something really cool that I've seen people do, where not only do they do something like that, but they'll take like cotton balls
Yeah.
and then they'll paint them black, like hit them with like spray paint or a starch or something first to kind of firm it up, or even just if you want that really cool bubbly look, spray foam, the insulation spray foam stuff, and then let it cure and then painting over top of that.
Mhm.
But you got to make sure you get the right paint because otherwise it'll react with the foam and bad stuff happens.
That's
Um,
yeah, I'm looking at the photo that Thanos copter sent. Yeah, that looks really pulls off the trick. Yeah,
yeah.
cool.
And it's great how simple some things can
Yeah,
be and really add a dynamic to it. Because, like you said, the trees you made, they look incredibly awesome and real. And it's a paper towel holder with, friggin' toilet paper attached to it. You could make this in a second grade art class.
yeah. I mean, that's
So,
pretty much the. I think that's the one thing I was like, well, I can pay $40 for one tree, or I can just do it for like all the stuff. I mean, I have everything in the house right now, so it's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go the cheaper route and see if I can do this right. So the first one I did, yeah, my wife was like, dang, that's. Did you buy that one, or is that is that the one of the ones you were looking to buy, or did you make that? Like, no, I made this. Like, oh, okay, it looks good.
right. And it saved you $40. So,
Yeah.
because you were just going to, well, again, we all know what we do with toilet paper, wet it down, wad it up, throw it at things, but you're just going to toss out the paper towel roll or recycle it. So,
Yeah.
better use it this way. Skelly has always mentioned about making sure that, don't necessarily throw something away if you think you could reuse it because he looks for a lot of stuff like that when he's doing his stuff. And I mean,
Yeah.
we've all seen that dynamic Snake Mountain, and he's got, just stuff he would have chucked, and he's using it within that. His Fright Zone,
Oh,
the
that looks so
tree for
amazing.
that he, oh my God, yeah, it did. It took
Oh,
everything about the original playset and
oh,
enhanced it. It's so good.
it's
Oh
like,
man.
oh man, I want that. Yeah. It's like, cause I don't know if it was one of your streams. When I know you kind of make the rounds. So I don't know if it was yours or or Mega J's or somebody, or it might have been just the
Might have
Toy
been
Friend.
me on Mega J.
Yeah, or it might have been Toy Frenzy. I think the Q&A and what was the favorite play set? And I think yours was the Fright Zone.
Yeah,
Yep, that was mine too. Yeah,
yeah,
Fright Zone.
definitely. I mean,
As far as Motu, now overall, I think I said Ghost the Firehouse because that really is something that I really really wanted. But as far as Motu, man, I, I had Castle Grayskull, but it's like, man, Fright Zone. That was like every day I was playing with that thing.
Fright Zone, there was just it's the for me what did it was the play features.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, you got this tree that you can snare up action figures in. You got this cave with this, freaking snake monster puppet thing coming out of it. You got this little trap on the ground. So the ground itself is now a play feature.
right.
And then you got this cage behind it and everything like that. And it was definitely like just like this torture room, really, when you think about it.
Oh yeah, and I
You
think
know?
and what worked is that you can actually have that outside, and it kind of it
Yes.
meshes well with or even like like your sister was saying, like the rock background that you had. It meshes so well. You can use the whole outside environment to go with it, and I think that was part of the reason too. That I mean, seeing those kind of commercials, back in the day, and seeing the atmosphere that they would create with the play set and just yeah, it could be out in the forest somewhere, but it's just like they make it mesh so well with the actual figures and play sets.
Yeah, definitely does. So Payne's actually just sent me in a picture here, and I'm gonna have to scroll down in the chat and catch up and see if there was something more with this particular shot he gave me. But it is an incredible, incredible shot, and I will share it here in just a moment. But just further on this too, Dollar Tree, Michaels, Joann's
Yep.
can have some stuff that works if you edge the frame right and keep it just out of focus or to give an impression, which you were mentioning earlier too. And Goodwills. Yeah,
Yep.
Goodwill stores always a treasure trove
Oh yeah.
of different things you can use. And sometimes you might even find some really cool toys in there for ridiculously
Yeah.
cheap. So I love my daughter. I'm lucky my daughters love painting and crafting, so I get them to do most of my painting and prop. Nolan, that's incredible. I love it. Free child labor. Uh, And so Master Versal Toy Hunter saying in too that he's made his own tree for his Jurassic Park display. He can take some photos for you and put it on IG there, sir. But yes, it was a bit prehistoric like tree to display with my T-Rex. Absolutely, man.
Cool.
And also, Skelly, speaking of the man himself, has joined us this evening. And Carol mentioning about Hobby Lobby
Yep.
here, which, yeah, Hobby Lobby's good. And they normally do have a lot of sales going on. They're just not always as easy to get to.
Yeah, I
Oh,
got quite a bit from from Hobby Lobby and Michaels. I think really like the little greenery stuff you can
yeah,
buy, and
yeah,
if you're me, I'm more of an indoor shooter. Not I don't shoot too much outdoors like you were.
stuff like this.
Yeah, exactly. You just again just put it in the background, just put it just slightly out of frame, or just have it out of focus, and yeah, it'll work. It'll work well.
Yeah, and again, like it adds this depth of field to
Uh,
it that makes it nice.
Grime City, yeah, that's exactly what I was looking at today. I think he actually gave me a coupon because I think it has something, and I still have some stuff in my checkout box. So I think he's trying to
Hey,
give me a
man,
little push. It's like,
it's a little trick, guys. If you don't know, put something in your cart and let it sit there for a while. A
yep,
lot of places will give you coupons just so you buy the freaking thing.
yeah,
And big shout out to Hilly and Dread joining in, uh, doing all kinds of amazing work lately on IG and really sharing it all. A lot of fun digital art and dynamic line art too. As a matter of fact, he helped set up my buddy's customs current logo,
oh, okay,
and that looks really really awesome.
it does, yeah,
And let's see here. I'm marking out the cut lines of a body cast I've made off of one of the Predator feet parts of a costume to make foam templates. Nice.
hmm.
Excellent. Oh, guys. Damon's watching. He says 15 watchers and only 10 likes. Mashy mash. Gotta agree with him there, guys. Go hit that like button. It's been talking trash all week. I
Smash
love
it.
it when you guys smack it around a little. Craft stores are your friends, absolutely. And again, Dollar Tree too. If you're working on a big budget, Dollar Tree has a
Yep.
lot of craft supplies for super cheap. Um, so just trying to go through here and look through some stuff. I'll probably come back to for some more comments. Sir Clifton saying, "Hey Oz," and hello to everyone in the chat. Catching the video on my phone on the newly discovered YouTube app for ability to chat. Nice,
Hmm.
excellent. Glad to have you joining us tonight, Sir Clifton. Thank you for being here, brother. Let me keep going down here. So I definitely want to. Okay, so this is today's try. That's what we're looking at here. So I'm going to share this real quick because this is just an amazing shot with some classic X-Men. As a matter of fact, it's a mix of different X-Men too, from different toy lines. It looks like to me, because I see a Brood in there that does not look recent, but I like it. All right, let me go here, and this is the one. We're going to share this right here.
Oh,
There we go.
nice. That's
Look
nice.
at that shot. I mean, I love it. We're going to go ahead and we're just going to full screen that up as best I can here. Or where is it? Full
So
screen.
is that like a digital background or like a, I wonder if you used a monitor or not.
Right. What did you use for this, Payne? Is that a digital background or is that is that like a, Thanos has been doing a lot of the digital backgrounds or print backgrounds and stuff
Print, yeah.
coming forward. And I think those look really unique. Here we go. And it's a backdrop on foam core. Nice. Yeah, that definitely helps. And some shout outs here from the rest of the chat saying that looks awesome. Great shot. It does, because it doesn't look like, that's a fake background. Like, it looks like a legitimate, this was outside.
Yeah.
And, because right down to even here, I'm pointing on my actual screen there. You just see this background. By the way, this is what I was talking about here. This is a Toy Biz Brood. That's definitely a Toy Biz Brood. So, and it, God, this mojo and oh man, like this is a really great shot, and it's mixing up again several different versions of X-Men toys into one shot, and I love that. Absolutely love it.
And that's a lot of times that's the hardest thing too, when you have a huge a large amount of figures in one shot, and then trying to keep everyone in focus too. Yeah, that's an amazing job right there, because it's, I mean, to have the full frame filled up like that. Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, and real quick here, giving more of a shout out to Hillian Dread again. Just thank you, and everybody appreciates that kind of support. You've done some amazing stuff. Really, really appreciate your help. Being a big part of the community, anytime you guys do stuff like that for us and to help us out when we're within this community, it's really incredible and it means a lot to us. So thank you. And just give more praise out here to Paynes as well. And let's see. My buddy's custom says, trying to find a good photo edit app for my phone. Okay. So there's a good question. Do you have any recommendations?
Well, I use Photoshop and Lightroom, but and it's only $10 a month that I pay for. I think it's like I can't remember the storage space. I think 10 gigs, I think, or maybe no, I think 20. I think 20 gigs. But and I hardly ever run out. I mean, I go in there and constantly kind of just delete stuff or move stuff off of there, to other storage. But I just found that just works great. Photoshop is a beast. I mean, it does take a big learning curve, but it definitely does help out. There was one that I think Snapseed. I think that's a free version. I think that's a pretty good one. My wife was she used that a lot. Snapseed, I think that's what it's called. Let me see. Yeah, Snapseed.
Snapseed. Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. So Carol's mentioned that my phone is blowing up over here, and that's right. Just gotten several was in the amazing Eldor about his Jurassic tree. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring that up here real quick, and
Ooh, that's
boom,
nice. That
that's
is
that
awesome.
tree. Yeah, absolutely. Like the detail and stuff in this amazing. And actually, here, let me pull.
How tall was that, or how big was that?
Well, the Rex. Well, that's what we're about to go through here, and
Oh wow,
okay, it's going a little slow here. I try to add it to stream. There we go. Yeah,
wow.
so there you guys go. You see it next to that actual T Rex, and that is phenomenal. Like just a phenomenal shot with the backdrop and that T Rex, so you can see just how epic it is. That is nuts.
That is, yeah, that is
But
really
Eldor,
really good.
his craftsmanship,
Oh yeah.
and just about everything he does is phenomenal, and it's all hand too.
Hmm. Have you
Um,
seen his Dolph custom?
that's really yes. Oh my God, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think it's great. Even his, he did a bit more on that Thorin Oakenshield.
Hmm.
So you got like this mint in package Thorin Oakenshield from Lord of the Rings, or rather the Hobbit. Sorry, guys, don't kill me. Don't kill me, any Lord of the Rings fans or Hobbit fans. I know Thorin is from the Hobbit. My bad. But you know, like just he gets this base figure and he just adds a little bit to it, and it just brings up so much more.
Hmm.
But we're trying to talk about some toy photography and not so much customizers here. Which don't get me wrong, I love toy customizers; they're
Oh
so
yeah.
amazing. Um, so real quick though, again back to that Photoshop topic.
Yep.
Here is Photoshop Express using and Adobe Express. So that is really really good advice for using stuff on your phone, because not everybody has a setup like where they can use computers. Like me, I'm always using, like when I'm doing my images and stuff like that, I'm using my desktop, and then like if
Hmm.
I need to hand draw something or do something in, I have just one of those slate tablets that I can draw on and add it up to the screen. But not everybody has that. Some people are just working with like a phone or a
Right.
tablet of themselves. So and just go ahead here and give some shout outs. We got the wow from Carol. Very nice and gorgeous. See again, guys, the support you guys show for each other. This is incredible. This is what I love about this community here. And this is something else that I absolutely love about this community.
Hmm.
Nolan with the that's awesome. And that's right, man. Guys, keep spreading that word. I love it. Use it everywhere. Yeah, that's a good looking tree, right? That's a nice piece of wood that he had there, isn't it? Uh, and just some more questions going in through that. So, again, getting back into the topic of the toy photography aspect of this. So, we'd mentioned about the length of time it takes. Photography is a very patient man's hobby.
Yep.
I mean, it's come a long way, especially with toy photography, because you can set up lighting specifically to simulate more what you're looking for. But I know is even in high school, because I took photography in high school and I definitely did several shots, just doing old school 35 millimeter style.
Hmm.
And sometimes you got to wait hours for the shot, for that lighting to hit the right way
Yep.
when you're using natural light. Um, what is the longest you've had to wait to get a shot the way you wanted it?
Well, because I shoot indoors, I mean, it's more or less. I have. That's primary. A big part of the reason is because I can use the. I mean, I can manipulate the lighting. I can, like, normally I shoot in this room up here in our second floor, and I turn off all the lights, and then I can go in there and I can set up the lights how I want them. But probably, oh man, it was one that I haven't posted yet, but it took me. Well, actually, there. Well, the one most recent one was just when I just could not get it. I was like working on it maybe for like 2 hours, just trying to. I mean, I moved the camera around, changed the lighting around, and just I couldn't get it. It was just a shot of bazooka in one of these spacey type of extreme sets that I have, and yeah, it's just I have one. I turned everything off except the top. I have like a ring light that I usually use overhead. I have like a little clamp that that I have for this table, and then it just hangs over like this, so it can kind of just give some light across like that. And that's the only light I left on. Had everything else turned off, and I was gonna just take a seat on the couch and kind of just just take a break for a minute. Maybe I can figure out how I want to do this shot. And that's when I saw that, oh yeah, just that top light, just that's the shot that that's the shot that I yeah that's the one right there. So it just again, I think that's probably one of the longest ones because it was just nerve wracking. It's just or it was I was
Yeah.
racking my brain trying to figure out, man, it's like how how can I not get this? It's like trying to figure out a math problem, and just trying to see how why can't I figure this out? But that's the again kind of what we were talking about before is not being not yeah, don't get discouraged, and it'll eventually a lot of times it will come, and there are some times where it won't. I mean, you just there. I'll set up a whole scene and light it and shoot it, and then it'll wind up. I won't ever use it. I'll delete the whole thing off my camera roll and just like just just start from scratch. So
Right. But again, like you said, at least you didn't waste all that in film with digital photography.
exactly, exactly.
It's the one saving grace about digital is you're not wasting any film because
Yeah,
I know what it's
it
like
can be
too.
expensive. Yeah, film can be expensive.
Oh yeah. But I will still say though, nothing like getting that perfect shot and then seeing it develop in a black room. I don't know if you've had the experience yourself.
I
Of
have a little bit. Yeah, my cousin, he's a professional photographer, and he
okay.
I used to sit in with him sometimes, and yeah, that can be yeah. People, yeah, folks nowadays that don't remember those times of going into a dark room and then having putting in the chemicals and like having to develop and then having to dry it. It's just yeah that and then that's when you see that's when can actually see what how your print came out and how your shot came out. It's like you have to like you were saying before. There's a length of time between you hit click until you actually see how it comes out. Now it's like yeah, you see it on your
Yeah.
little display screen. Like I don't like this. Let me change the settings a little bit. Take another one. Before yeah, you just had to just click it and be like, oh man, I hope this comes out good.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. It's crazy. So Carol's mentioned in the short you posted the other day was neat seeing the behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, yeah. The that was like my first well, because a buddy of mine on the other Discord server, yeah, he started posting time lapse videos for behind the scenes. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And he's like, yeah, you should do it. I mean, especially like your setups and stuff like that. And I was like, okay. And of course, you have that on most people have that on their phones now as far as the time lapse setting.
Yep.
So I just clicked on it, just set it, and then pretty much forgot about it and just did what I normally do as far as setting up the shot and then getting the lighting and everything. And then I was like, man, that it went on for like maybe 20, 30 minutes, whatever. I was like, hopefully it's not dragged down. It looked, oh, it just like, yeah, it's like 20 seconds. It just spun
Right.
right through. So, oh, that's pretty neat. So, I think I'll probably do some more in the future. It's just a lot of times I'm not thinking about that. I'm just going in and just like shooting. I'm just setting everything up, and then it's just like I should have had the behind the scenes camera running, or I should have done. Or people do reels as far as like
Yep.
after as they have it set up, and they'll take their phone out and or their camera, and they'll just shoot and just kind of give
Right.
some little
Yeah, because
crazy
they'll
angles.
yeah, I mean, and Sir Dorks posted like entire,
Yeah.
videos of him doing that where it's like, he's got everything. He shows you the shot and then he's got the camera set up, timed features or whatever he needs. And well, the one he did the other day with the firecrackers where he
Oh
made it a
yeah.
whole video, including himself with it. It was a
Yep.
lot of fun to see. But I really dig those kind of little shorts and seeing that, I often joke about being, yeah, I mean, you've seen it in the Discord server as well because of my name. I say the wizard behind the curtain, and
Mhm.
that's because I'm the one doing some of that stuff. A lot of the behind the scenes stuff, at least for the Discord server, because was building that up, and then again doing like the different thumbnails. It works for me, and I really appreciate that peek behind the curtain, that
Yeah.
behind the scenes look. So this is one that always gets me. How do you combat the glare from the glossy cardboard on extreme set?
A lot of times I don't get that too often. I get them more on the diorama prints. Those, as much as I like them, they are kind of they. I have noticed that they do get a real they'll get a real reflection on them because they are so glossy. For extreme sets, not so much. But if I ever do encounter that, just like if you use digital background, you kind of want to move your light so it doesn't like it's not. Maybe it's off to maybe move it off to the side a little bit and maybe
Right.
not directly, on top or near the backdrop that you're shooting on. I've seen that for me that helps, a lot of times just kind of just moving them off to kind of like to the side, and then maybe again some sort of top light to kind of come down and kind of just fill the space, and then you got these little fill lights, on each side to kind of just give a little bit more visibility to the figure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great. So, and what you were talking about earlier, Damon was saying, I feel you, man. I do.
Yeah.
And then I love this right here because, again, having done in 40 years of photography, I've wasted tons of money on bad 35 millimeter
Yep.
shots. Love the digital age. Absolutely. It's so quick to be able to do the turnaround, like, oh, it's a bad shot. Let me move on. And Hillian Dread saying he remembers when you had to press a button or photos would develop blurry.
Yep.
Very true. Gotta have the exposures right. Today's shot had so many figure fails. Awful. Yeah, man, because it's going to really take that time. It really does. You're not going to get it on the first shot. You're not going to get it on the second shot, maybe. You might not get it until the 300th shot.
Right.
That's why you just got to keep trying. It's going to get to you.
And that's a big thing too. Just, I mean, having your figures fall and just, I mean, you have the shot, you have everything set up, and then like, oh, you step away for a minute, and then they just,
Just boom. You
boom,
know,
and then you're ah,
it it doesn't even mean like you're heavy footed or something and you walked away and it shook or anything like that. No, it's gravity pulling it down, man.
yep,
And you can't fight gravity. It's there. Uh, and Brick Something has joined us this evening saying, evening, folks. What's up, John and Oz? What's up with you, Brick? Good to have you here, brother. Thank you. Hey, man, if you're interested, let me know if you want to jump on. Actually, if anybody's interested, let me know if you want to jump on. We'll throw some more people on here. Uh, Cloth backdrops, no sheen.
yep,
Hey, there you go. That's always a good call. Yeah. The mentioning the indirect lighting versus direct lighting on
yep,
top. Absolutely. That's what I had to do. And not talking about for toy photography, but being here on camera. I have a light that I actually have sitting up over here. But if I had it here, like right in front of me, I'm photosensitive. I wouldn't be able to see anything really.
yeah.
It would just kill my eyes. So indirect lighting, have it come in from a different area where you can actually kind of, just not have it glare off. I mean, seriously, it glared a ton off this bald head if I had it right in front of me.
I think that's the first. This is the first time I've seen you without the little
Without a
ski cap
beanie on.
beanie
Yeah.
on. Yeah,
Yeah. Without the beanie or without a bandana on. Yeah, it warmed up nice enough today,
oh,
and
okay.
it's like I always joke about that's always for my bald, so it doesn't get cold. But my bald's pretty warm today. So also here, Nolan asking, would light filters help with that, like different filter settings on cameras or in software?
Yeah, or also maybe on the actual lights and light themselves. In fact, let me get one real quick.
Yeah, sure, go ahead. And while you're doing that, just scroll through some more of the chat here. For today's shot, Payne says he used these terrarium backdrops spray glued to foam board. Yeah, again, somebody brought up earlier too, and I flashed it up on screen, but I didn't have it up there long. Just using.
Yeah, so it's like
All
something like
right.
this, where it's like a little silicone cover, and so this really diffuses the
Nice.
light. So
Right.
take that, and yeah, this really helps out a lot. Or you can just get like a softbox. I used to have one during my videography days, but I don't know, it's probably in the garage somewhere, all tore up or whatever. But that definitely helps too. Again, having like a giant softbox light, and getting that kind of casting lighting on top of it would really be helpful as well. So
Yeah. And talking about using the again
yeah,
can work as well, and motion the box inserts. That's what I was looking for right there. That comment, the
yeah.
box inserts. I've got a bunch of those saved up. As a matter of fact, I even keep the ones from like, well, like the Teal and the Zord 2 pack because it didn't have any of the blister like glued to it. It's
Hmm.
just that straight blue background. I've got a couple of those that I want to put together as like a backing, so that I can take some pictures of the collection and everything else.
Yeah.
And I'm still working on that. Actually, I'm thinking tomorrow will be the day I actually get it done and take some photos of the collection. So, oh wait, here we go. Don't get me started on those prima donna figures laying down on the job, right? I mean, God, they're just so lazy all the time. Freaking things. Just laying them out, not doing anything, not doing what they're told. All right. Do you use, or to what extent do you use digital editing?
Not a whole lot, but I mean, obviously for some of the stuff I use for special effects, I incorporate Photoshop in there. I mean, there's always there's going to be some people that want to do as much in camera as possible, or there's a stigma for people that do use an abundance of Photoshop. But for me, it's like it's a tool that if I'm trying to get if I want to tell a certain scene, then if I have to use incorporate Photoshop, then I have no problem doing that. It just like the recent one with Lionel and the Sorceress, and incorporating the lightning in there, and it's
Right.
like I can't get that anywhere else except for using Photoshop, and that was actually a cool little shot just because I it's actually two shots in one. The sword I took by itself because the sword is actually floating. Well, it's on a wire. I took that
Right.
by itself and then masked it in front of the one of Lionel and the sorceress, and kind of just blend them in together because I just it, it wasn't working right when I was trying to do it with the sword in front of them, on the stand. And so I just took it off and then took a shot of them, moved them out of the shot, and then took just a picture of the sword. And then I digitally erased the wire, and then kind of just melded everything in with the other characters. So, and again, that stuff you just learn and use. Um, Story connections.
That's right. Ken has joined us this evening, jumping in, saying, "Oh, cool, Oz and John." And again, Ken, if you're free and you feel like jumping on, let me know, man. I'll shoot you the link over. Uh, so yeah, I mean, and that's really cool too, because that's one of the tricks that I use when I'm doing my digital art is layering,
Yeah.
quite a lot of layering. But it really adds a lot to a photo when it's done right, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Right. The one I'm probably the most proud of right now is the one with the Peter and Ned and Skeletor and
Love
the
that.
and Evil Lynn, because that was something I was like, I wonder if I can just something. It's more or less like a challenge. Like, can I do this? Can I I have this idea in mind. Can I get it? Can I accomplish it? And so being able to do that, being able to put Pete and Ned in the frame of that monitor, and put them basically in between behind Skeletor and Evil Lynn onto that monitor. That was just like, how can I do that? And so just again,
Right.
just researching and just playing with it and figuring it out. And yeah, I mean, I don't think it's the greatest, but I mean, it got the job done. And then people even comment on it, tell them like, man, it's like, did you even put them out of focus a little bit? It's like, yeah, I kind of figured out how to, even though the picture I grabbed of them was the previous one of them finding the cosmic key, I was able to go in there and digitally put them out of focus because obviously that would make sense. And in the shot, Skeletor and Evelyn are in the foreground, they would be in focus, and then Pete and Ned would be out of focus. Just that's kind of what you would want to see. Yeah, and there you go.
This exactly right here. This is the first shot that he's talking about right here. And again, that smiling Ned face is one of the greatest things ever, by the way. Um, and then doing this, and like you say, just taking it just out of focus, so that it looks perfectly like it's on a screen now behind these two. And again, in talking about like today's shot, because again, this was really, really amazing right here. So you see that sword is floating in the air. You see those lightning effects, and I mean, it's magical. That's toys. That's toys.
Yeah.
Is great.
And we also have our little friend up there floating as well.
That's right.
Little
Where's the
trawler.
base? Where's the base? There is no base. You know. Here we go. Another great one for our Princess of Power fans and the Shira fans overall. Shadow Weaver and Shira fighting, and look at those effects. You know, you've you got is her hand effect like the one that came with the toy on there? Is that what I kind of see, or is it
No,
just the
just
digital effect?
just the digital effect. It was
Okay,
afterwards. I was like, oh man, yeah, she did come in effect. I could have used that. I wasn't because I think I left it still in the box.
okay,
So I didn't have it out. So it wasn't until afterwards when I was when I was getting all of her, the rest of her hands and all of her stuff out of the box. Like, oh man, I forgot she did come with something. I could have just used that and kind of just maybe enhanced it a little bit. But oh well. Again, you just learn.
right, absolutely. And again, guys, like, look, he's doing this just like any photographer would. He's letting you know exactly what he's using to get the shot, and I love that. I think that's great. Thank you for including all that info for people who are looking to just start out. You can see what he's using to take each one of these shots listed there, and this is the works right here. Oh, got a Kyle Rayner Green Lantern here.
Yeah.
Gotta pop that up and show him some love.
Yeah.
Uh,
My namesake.
that's awesome. So again, guys, like really, just amazing, amazing shots from Dave. Oh, this is one of my favorite. Yes. The little slash sword effect and the sparks coming from the bat. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, that's oh man, I love. Yeah, I got a couple other bat photos I need to put up, but yeah, it's like I just love. They're just so easy to beat up and put them in in cool little shots.
Oh, this is a good one too. Here, you know, the Mandalorian handing He-Man some Beskar.
But yeah, I mean, of course, I mean
It's a
that's where you got
great
it from.
shot. That's a great shot. Yeah, what better battle armor than Beskar, right?
Yeah.
So, guys, again, if you're going to see more of this, uh, you know, head over to IG, follow at Emerald Knight Photos, go check him out. I don't want to spoil and give everybody all the goods here when they go give you a file. So let's see here. Stigmas suck. Let people do what they want. I say.
Oh yeah,
I'm always
I
one
don't.
for letting people do exactly what they want.
Yeah, no, I don't let it bother me. I mean, well, and nobody's actually said anything negative, to me about it. But I've seen it, in other avenues or other areas. It's like, it's like I mean, to me, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's like if they use a lot of Photoshop or not. I mean, I know Sir Dork, he does a lot. That's why his stuff is amazing because he uses like actual fire, actual like effects, like
Yeah.
sand, like water effects and fire effects. But it's like, oh man, he's just for me, it's more at least more or less. I wouldn't want to damage my figure. Like I'm not gonna take my He-Man out there and throw
Right.
gasoline around it and light him on fire or light give him a ring of fire. I would be too nerve wracking to want to take a shot. Or focus on the shot. Then it's like, oh man, it's like, if he falls and he falls into that fire, then that's it. It's like game over.
Yeah, I see the guys that use like firecrackers and stuff like that,
Yep.
and like I get really, really bad PTSD flashbacks, like GI Joes exploding and limbs going everywhere,
Oh
and then I
yeah.
think like all these other toys that are sitting around are going to come to life and take their revenge on me. Oh wait, that was a Hot Dog movie.
Should be, yeah.
It was. It was. It's Toy Story. Sid.
Oh yeah. Thinking, yeah, it's like
So my sister's asking, how did you get the Sorceress and Shadow Weaver? Dare you tell? We
I
all know
don't know
where
if
they
I'm
came
supposed.
from. We
Yeah.
all know where they came from. We know the retailer's name. We know where they're at. And yeah, Ken mentioned that he's not feeling too good tonight. His stomach's killing him. But yeah,
Oh,
Ken, rest up, buddy, and hope you start feeling better.
yeah. Yeah, I saw his stream earlier on the GI Joe playsets. Yeah, I think he mentioned he was well his birthday was I think yeah, it was like yesterday or so, I think is what he said. So
Yep,
so
absolutely.
yeah, happy birthday to Ken.
Yeah.
Belated
Big
birthday.
happy B day, you know? Well, I mean, everybody's got birthdays going around like right now and stuff like that. I'm surprised how many of us all have these birthdays towards the beginning of the year. I'm used to it being like kind of me, but as I've gotten older, there's quite a lot of people who were born towards the beginning of the year. So joining us now live, just jumping in, we've got Payne's toy samples going live with us, folks. As soon as everything wants to connect, there he is. What's going on, brother? Glad to have you with us.
Thanks for having me. I just thought I'd show you the
Yeah, man,
foam core,
absolutely.
and it's just a terrarium backdrop. It's
Oh, nice.
simple. It's cloth. You can put it on with spray glue. It's on foam board. $1.99 at Hobby Lobby.
Yep.
This was like $8 on Amazon, and you can get different sizes. They have about 15 or 20 different backdrops. They're pretty easy to get, pretty simple to put together, and they work. You can get them as you can get massive ones too. So if you really want scaled
Yeah.
pictures, you can get it better.
Oh yeah, because when it comes to using terrarium or like aquarium backgrounds and stuff like that, some tanks, like when you start getting up to the 75-gallon tanks, are massive. So they have
Yeah.
huge
Oh, yeah.
things that'll completely cover the back.
Yeah.
So let's see here. By the way, there you go. Elgin's coming over right now with the Cracktastic page. Go follow him. That's great.
Sweet. Appreciate it.
Good to have it. Spread the love, guys. Spread the love. All right. Let's see here. We got using plastic bags to parachute figures in the air. It's always a neat effect, and yeah, we've definitely
Like a 4.
done that a couple times. So Sir Eldon was mentioning, or Sir Clifton rather, was mentioning Paul Mart store. I think we got a little further away from the chat here, and I'm not sure what we were talking about with that. If you want to clarify, Sir Clifton, let me know so that way I can pop that up there too. That's right. Ray and Adam's birthdays is coming up soon. Connor's birthday was today. That was right. We had a huge fun day full of birthday wishes for that guy. And thank you, Ray. Definitely appreciate it. He had a great birthday. Got a lot of cool stuff. And let's keep rolling through here.
You get any Motu stuff or?
Oh, you know he did. You know he did. So I mean, I wish he was still here because then he could just show it off. But the Aunt Carol, she sent over the Ground Ripper and Mechanic for him. So he got that today. He finally got the CGI version of Battle Cat, and that was a lot of fun and really great too. Then actually, two of probably the coolest ones right here. Let me see if I can spin around and get them real quick.
Oh, sweet. Is that the actual Kenner ones, or are they
No.
remade?
These are NECA made. They didn't have the Berserk Predator back in the day.
Oh, is that who it is? Okay.
Yeah, so they re-released completely vintage stylized Berserk Predator from Predators. And grab this one here. Here we've got the Neomorph and Neomorph Baby, but again, recreated that classic Kenner packaging with all new figure sculpts. So since he's got the rest of them and Daddy saw these in Target, it was like, oh yeah, we gotta finish up the collection. Really gotta finish that up.
So, but you did get him the Grayskull Classics, though, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, he saw it when Sean was here, and I just had to get it for him because, like, Damon is saying, "Happy birthday to Oz's YouTube overlord, Connor." We all know he definitely ruled the stream the other week when he had Zor pooping all over me, and I had stuff in my head. So, and the Predator, yes, absolutely. He is a big fan of Alien and Predator, and I'm okay with that because I was a huge fan as a kid. And, as long as he understands it's fake, there is no real Yauchas or Xenomorphs out there really planning to get him. It's great. So, what what projects do you guys have down the pipeline for some of your toy photos that you're doing?
For me, nothing. I mean, just the same old, I guess. Pretty much. Well, I got the big guy up there now, so I took one. I mean, a quick photo today, and then probably gonna do
Oh, that
some
was cool.
more. Probably do some more here later in the week. So, but nothing. Yeah, nothing I could think of right now. Just I may get another extreme set. I'm kind of eyeing one right now, so I
Hmm.
may pull the trigger on one of them. But and also
Which one are you
eyeing.
looking at?
I think it's their animated kind of not rooftop. I think it's like a it almost looks like it belongs in the Turtles show. Uh, I think
Um,
I can't remember what it's called. Either that or one of their Temple Ruins sets. I think it's the newest one that they came out with is pretty good.
oh man, they've actually gotten some newer ones since the last time I was looking at
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
them. They have gone crazy. Oh wow. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
hadn't
put
seen
them
these.
in my bookshelves with my figures the other day, just last week and a half ago. I got like one on clearance at Entertainment Earth, and I was like, why not try it? It works
Right?
okay. It it is what it is, but that's why I'm working on the dios, actually making it a little more than flat,
yeah.
cardboard.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, and that's one of the cool things too, because Extreme Sets has also got themselves out now with, they've added accessory packs and things like that of
Hmm.
that nature to their stuff, which is always good. And again, it's all like simple cardboard stuff, but it looks really good when you get it all stacked up. You got to go in the background. Oh man, suit display pack. Oh, dip. Sorry, now I'm looking at it. No.
No, you can. Yeah, you can run down that rabbit hole and start like, oh man, do I really need that? Maybe I
Yeah,
do.
it's a nasty rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll do it myself for half the price.
Oh yeah.
This takes longer.
Yep.
right, right. I had a couple weeks back, I did an episode of TKO, and it was Ken, myself, and David. Go figure. Um, and he gave some really good advice, guys. Like, we all said you got to have a little Adam sitting on your shoulder and just saying, do I really need this? And of course, you're going to convince yourself, yes, you do.
Oh yeah. I mean,
That's part of the fun of being a toy collector, is the convincing yourself and justifying our addictions. So, Jesse from Just Shelve It has shown up tonight. What is going on, Jesse? Glad you could be here, man. Glad you could make it. And again, you know what? I'm just gonna say it. I'll open it up. Anybody wants to jump on, let me know. We can jump on and ham it up quite a bit. So Brick was asking you if you're in Cali now. I know earlier you had announced that. Oh, look at that. Carol's on top of it already. Letting you know she's in Texas. And Pains, where are you at right now? Where are you located at this time?
I'm in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Okay.
Oklahoma
So
City
look at that.
suburb.
We got a nice spread from the east into the Midwest there. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, this is my future project. I got a couple of these I need
That's
to
Oh,
add
nice.
to it.
Go ahead,
So,
put it back up there. Show everybody some more. So,
uh,
how many did you go down?
this will make 4 and 5.
Okay, that's
Not
not
bad.
too bad. I've seen people do worse.
Yeah.
No, I promised myself I would only do 3,
right.
and now we're at 5.
Well,
I have a problem.
when you're walking around Target and they got that end cap with all of them sitting next to the Tiger
Oh, no,
Outback.
our stuff was all sold out, so I had to buy
Oh.
these from online. So
Oh,
Sorry.
the clearance stuff, our stuff's been sold out for a long time. I don't even think they made it to clearance here because we didn't get very much.
I don't even collect classified, but when I saw them up there, they were like clearance down to like $10. I was almost like, everybody could use an army of bats.
yeah.
And they had a lot too. I wish I'd snagged them for everybody now.
Yeah, I was holding off so long on classifieds, but then yeah, I pulled the trigger and now I have like tons and tons of
Yeah.
them now.
When they were first popping up and I was like seeing them, I was like, oh man, that's so great. And, you know, again, they're that 6-7 inch scale.
Yep.
And I'm sitting there looking at, you know, I just had a couple of, you know, I was starting to build out my NECA Aliens collection. I was just like, you know, what would be really cool if some of those face huggers attached to a couple of
Yep.
Joes. And I had to refrain from doing it, and I didn't go down that hole. And I'm really glad I didn't, because if I had,
yeah, that hole brought me back to collecting.
yeah,
And that's not a bad thing.
I wasn't collecting prior to January of 22. Somehow I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna go back to collecting toys, and you know, I'm to that point where I just needed something different, and that's where I'm at now. A little over a year later, I have way too much toys for very little space.
that's the worst part. You know, again, I've said it before. Space danger is absolutely the ultimate
Yeah.
enemy of any toy collector. Money is a huge issue, of course, because you got to keep pumping money into it. But you could have all the money in the world. If you ain't got space for it, it don't matter.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you're a collector, that space danger is a huge issue.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of as far as this whole idea that Motu is going to be dying and stuff like that. So well, it's like as long as I don't, you know, I got 2 other shelves down here that I still need to get filled. So as long as it doesn't go past those, then I should be good. I should be good. But I mean, right now I got 2. These 2 are pretty much full. So you know, and I'm actually like, yeah, as stuff gets released or announced, it's like, okay, new Adventures He-Man, new Adventures Skeletor, the Darkland, and it's like, oh man, it's like I'm counting them up. Like, do I have the space? Am I gonna run out of space? It's like, so yeah, it's not a fun.
Then you add in like figure stands and everything else. I mean, you got all that.
Yeah.
Those take up space. I've gone through probably 10 different types of figure stands to try to find the ones that will fit in the spaces that I need.
Yeah.
And I'm probably going to have to buy another display shelf. And yeah, this is
coming back into the money factor.
Not for the faint of heart. That's for sure.
Oh, no, it's not.
Not at all. Yeah. And, you know, again, like same for me. I'd been out of toy collecting for a number of years since my last, well, again, I got NECA Alien and Predator, but I didn't look at it as a collecting because I wanted to build a really awesome Hive diorama out of it. So I didn't look at it as collecting as much because I was going for something very specific and not an overall kind of collection of sorts, just a really neat display for these awesome, amazing looking figures. But I wasn't going to do like a collection, you know? But Origins hit, and I opened up that He-Man and that Skeletor, and then like another week later I had Battle Cat, and it was done. I was all in again. So it was something that was just itching in the back, you know, ready to unleash again. Couldn't have come at a worse time, really, but I'm in it now. So Hillian Dread saying, I collected classified at first, but then Origins came out and it was much easier to collect than classifieds. So I quit collecting after Lady J-Wave. Okay. Definitely.
Yeah, I kind of went crazy my first month. I literally bought every figure that was available, including all of the ones that you couldn't get. I paid too much for 2 of them.
Yeah.
I have some buyer's remorse.
Yeah, that's the bad thing, because there is a pretty nice toy shop here in Dallas, and it's just the yeah, I mean, and they have a lot of great stuff, but man, it's like it can be really you know, overpriced. And I did buy something there, you know, it's like I could have got this so much cheaper somewhere else. I hope maybe. But sometimes, yeah, I do find some good deals. Like I did get Destro and Duke, and I couldn't find them I couldn't find them on Amazon. Nowhere online except for eBay. And like Duke, he was going for like $60-70. I was like, man, it's like, and you know, that's way too high. But I gotta get Duke. I have to get Duke. So it's like, I guess I'm gonna have to pay that. I mean,
yeah,
but then
The
but then,
Cobra Island Vipers, yeah,
yeah,
65, 70 a piece.
yeah,
I
but
bought two and stopped. And then
yeah, it's
then
a
a
good.
guy was getting out of classified, and I bought a lot. He had a Viper in there, but the box was trashed, and I was like, whatever.
Hey,
But I
yeah,
got a
Right.
Viper, and I got like 5 Cobra Commanders. I don't know
oh
why
wow,
he had 5 Cobra Commanders. I got 3 Major Bloods, 4 Scarlets, and then a couple Troopers.
oh wow,
It was a pretty good collection for $150. It was like $10 a figure, $8
yeah,
a
that's
figure.
not
Well,
bad. That's real
I
good.
was like, this is just stupid not to take this deal.
Yeah,
and sometimes you come across those. You
yeah,
definitely will come across those because I've done it before. When getting the Kenner Alien and Predator figures for Connor, like I was buying lots of them, and to the point now where he has literally 2 of every alien type that they came out with because I was buying lots because they were cheap, but there'd be like 1 or 2 in there that he may have needed. And then I would go look up the individual price of finding those 2 that were in this lot. And it would be like, you add up the cost of both of them, and it'd be like $10 less than the whole lot of figures. So it's
right.
like, I'm going to buy those.
Yeah, just wait for somebody to offload their collection. It's always good.
Yeah,
Yep.
yep,
It's like,
Yeah. Well, I was
just
going
be
to say,
patient.
anybody.
And that's how collecting works. So it's just
Yeah.
about patience.
Mhm.
Right.
I was impatient at first, and then I learned patience as I went
Yep.
along.
Yeah. When you saw that number dipping in the bank account, you're like,
Yeah.
whoa.
You're like, nah, no, gotta take a
Yeah.
full stop.
Yeah, and then for some stuff, I actually I found Storm Shadow at Target. Like it was just like
Right.
something was telling me like I went there for something. I think I was getting a birthday gift from my aunt. I was like, you know what? I was gonna run in there real quick, get this, what I needed, and then I was like, you know what? Let me go there. Let me go to the toy section real quick. Let me just stop. And there he was, only one, just sitting there on the rack. I'm like, yoink, because everywhere else, I mean, he was sold out in Big Bad Toy Store. I mean, couldn't find him in Entertainment Earth. I mean, he just at that point he just couldn't find him anywhere. It's like, well, I gotta get Storm Shadow, but I mean, do I really want to pay $60 on eBay? And it's like, well, pay 20 something at Target. It's like just wait it out, like you said, and just sometimes
Yeah.
you just get lucky. Same with Spirit. I found Spirit at a Target.
Yeah, I do all my stuff through online because, going shopping, I have a severe, profound autism child, and
Oh, okay.
going shopping is kind of an act of God kind of thing. So I only get about 2 hours a week that I can go do something for myself. So
Oh, okay.
that's one of those things that, on Friday mornings, I'll go after I drop them at school. And then, but that's about it. So most of mine has to be online.
Yeah.
So if it's not Big Bad Toy Story, it's not, it was Dorkside for a while until they died.
Yeah.
And then,
Rest in peace.
there's a bunch of little stores like Totally Rad Toy House out of Tennessee. I find all these weird little esoteric short stores that, they'll ship anywhere. So it's like, might as well.
Right.
Yep.
And
I mean,
they're the best ones because they're not charging that premium that some of these
you're
other
not paying
guys
for
are.
it.
Right.
I mean, we have a new store opening up in the here, so maybe before I come home one day, I might stop by there. But we don't have a whole lot of toy stores here. We have 2,
Yeah.
and I've been to both of them, and I worried about whether or not I was going to need tetanus shot after I was done.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah,
I mean, we've got a few around here, but they're pretty far out. Like, I talk about how close it is to hit like Target and Walmart. We got them almost as bad as most people have Starbucks on every block around here. But there is a toy store in the Rosedale area called Hidden Treasures. They're pretty good, and they're not too like crazy priced. It's like I could go in there and find the stuff that's not sitting at retail, and they're only charging like maybe $5 or $10 more than retail is. And
That's
it's
not
like,
bad.
okay, it's convenience because I'm not driving to 10 different Walmarts to find this one figure. Simply just showing up down here. I know where it's at, and it doesn't cost that much in gas.
yeah.
There's a couple that are further out that are really nice, but they can be a bit pricier. They're going to be looking for more what that online, third party seller prices. It kind of bums me out to get all the way out there. And then we've got the comic book shops that also sell toys. But again, they're also looking at that collector price and then not
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah. Comic
Just like,
shops are going to be that collector price every time, and you're
Yep.
like, "Eh."
so Jesse from Just Shelvage joining us tonight. He's done some toy photography himself, by the way.
A little bit here and there. I dabble.
Just dabble. Just dip your toe in a little bit. He should be building the sets for you guys to take those photos. We'll make the Toy Photography Network as the next big project.
Hey, yeah, there you go.
So Nolan saying Ray and I still have Toys R Us, but they are expensive. It was part of the problem here in the U.S. to begin with. Toys R Us was more expensive than showing up at your Walmart and Target.
It's paying for those premium rent locations.
Right.
That's why Toys R Us was always more
Yep.
expensive.
Yep.
Oh man, it was so awesome though going though as a kid. It was so awesome.
Great. I miss it.
Yep.
Toys R Us, KB Toys.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, right before the Toys R Us around here closed up, there were a couple of times where, as they announced that they were closing, I got to take Connor to them.
Oh,
And
nice.
I'm so glad that I did, because every kid should have that experience and that wonder. And you know what the best part about it was that when I walked him in there and we were looking at stuff, I told him, like, I didn't give him any parameters. I said, we're not going to buy everything you see. And that was about it. He himself started making the decision. Like, I never said, like, we couldn't get this and this. He would pick something up and be like, well, which one do I want? And he'd be like looking back and forth. And then he'd put one back himself. And,
Nice.
you know, being the good dad I was, later that week on my way home, I just stop in and grab that other thing he was looking at. So we're getting the shout outs here. Again, this is what I love. Everybody starts doing these shout outs. And you know what, Payne? I got to go back up and hit you too, because definitely a couple people were saying, hey, when you were jumping in the chat earlier here. But, you know, again, that's what I love about this community. Like, we're all so close knit. We all know who each other are. And it's great. Just love having that respect that people have for everybody when they jump in. So I think we've all been here. I liked pushing buttons in the toy stores. When I was working at Walmart and Kmart, I was that guy that would specifically walk down that aisle with whatever the seasonal toys were that had the jingle.
Oh no.
And push every one of them just all the way down the aisle. And then everybody would be getting mad about it. Oh, look, here we go. And Duchess is throwing one in so I don't have to scroll all the way back through the chat room. Duchess, thank you. Thank you, darling. It's so good to have you do that. It's perfect.
It's fine.
It gets lost in the chat when I keep scrolling up. And then I'm like scrolling real quick because I know it's all the way up there and I'm trying to get back to it. I got to tell you, managing the chat has, as the channel's grown and more people are watching every week, that has probably become the hardest part, is learning how to navigate a bigger chat and how to manage it. And I got to give shout outs to Mega J, because his chats, he's got hundreds of people in the chat and he's trying to keep up with it and keep pace with it.
Well, and then you got Toy Anxiety that's around 200, and then you got Geek Dad Life who's around 300 to 500. I'm like,
Right.
I can only imagine what that's like.
I don't, you know, it's no wonder to me why they can't highlight everybody's single comment. Because could you imagine how long their live streams would be? Mine go for 3 hours, and there's just like, you know, again, 20 people in here sometimes at most really watching. And I'm like trying to keep up with everybody and answer all the questions and everything like that. And then I'll say, all right, guys, well, it's time to wrap it up. And then the chat explodes. And like, well, now I've got another hour of show to go through. But it's great too, because I mean, I'm excited about that. I love having everybody in the chat, and you know, it helps drive. I know I've talked with a couple of guys, again, you know, smaller channels just starting out and everything like that, and they express concern about like, well, I'd like to have somebody on to go back and forth with, like you guys do on Toy Frenzy, and Jesse, like you do on Just Shelve It and everything. I appreciate when, and that's sometimes why I just, again, like tonight, throwing out the random invite, being like, come on in. Um, it is easier when you go back and forth with somebody, but I also depend on that chat too, because going back and forth with the chat, that interaction with the chat, I love it. I love giving the interaction back to everybody who's watching
Yep.
because I wouldn't be doing this if you guys weren't in the chat. It's incredible.
Talking with yourself is fine. It's answering yourself that becomes the problem.
Yeah.
No,
Oh, wait,
answering
we're not-
yourself.
Not supposed to answer yourself?
No, not really.
Answering yourself isn't the problem either. It's when you have an argument with yourself and you lose. That's the issue.
Well, then that's every day. So I don't know.
I definitely lose that battle. Carol's saying, tonight is great anyways. I like hearing the process of making the photos, which brings us back on topic since now that Jesse's joined us. Again, like, and Nolan was asking if they ever did catch that guy. They actually had him cornered in the woods right up the street from the house. For anybody who was watching Thursday night's Toy Frenzy, it got a little scary around here, and I had to back myself out of Toy Frenzy for a few, just to make sure we got the house all locked up and everything around here, because bad stuff was going on in Baltimore. But what else is new? See, Jesse understands. He's just north in PA. He hears the stories.
Well, I had a similar situation where someone escaped, a criminal escaped a hospital that was a couple blocks away from where I lived in Missouri. And there were helicopters flying over and police cars were up and down the streets. And it was wild, but that's a whole other thing.
Yeah. It was a cop-involved shooting. And apparently I didn't realize it went over the course of 2 days. So there was a whole day this guy was at large I didn't even know about. But yeah, then he ended up, there was a car chase and another officer got shot, and that one was in critical condition. And then that's when he took the police car, went on a joyride, and ended up bailing out, running into the woods that, just so happened to stretch towards my back. So yeah, fun.
Nice.
As far as them catching him, I don't know if they caught him, but at this point, I almost worry they did catch him and, just didn't report that they caught him. I might find him on a walk through the woods one day. I don't know. Or what's left of him. I'll be like, oh, that can go into the collection. So
That sounds like a different collection entirely than what I'm expecting.
Oh yeah. Oh, I've talked about it. I have the bone and skull collection as well.
Okay.
So yeah, as far as it goes right now, I could probably look it up and find out, but you know what? They had us be able to unlock the doors and everything later that night. So hopefully they got that guy. And I'm sure they made him pay for it. Which I don't condone police brutality in any way. It's terrible. Don't do it. Can we get back to the toy photos?
As a former cop, Oz, yes, we don't condone that.
That's right. That's right. No, nobody condones police brutality. Nobody. So yeah, taking pictures and the amazing works and the amazing talent that's all here. So Jesse, I know when you were on Toy Frenzy just recently and you were talking about some of the dios and stuff you set up, and you sent Skelly some of those pics. Have you ever built anything specifically for a photo?
No, not yet.
I love that. Yet. Just that yet.
I have some ideas in mind for a dio I want to make, and using the Mythic Legions and D&D miniatures to do like a forced perspective into the background.
Okay. That's a really neat idea, because that was, again, something we brought up about, how you have, something in the back. It's a little bit out of focus, makes it look like it's deeper and further away. And I know I've shouted out Thanos before because of his excellent use of the Sky Sled and Battle Ram from like the Hot Wheels, and having that in the background and recreating that first image of the Green Goddess giving He-Man the power harness and everything like that, and like recreating that whole image. So being able to do that with D&D miniatures mixed in with Mythic Legions, that's going to be a really incredible shot.
Hopefully.
Well, I mean, give it time. It'll be incredible.
Yeah, I have all these D&D parts, and I'm not running a game myself, so they're all just sitting in storage and not storage, but on my shelves. And I have these dragons, and I'm like, those dragons are too cool, and I never got to use them in my campaign. I'm like, they're too small for up close Mythic Legions, but if I have them in the background, like raising a village or a town, and then like the heroes come in or something, that's the plan.
Okay, that would be really cool. So figuratively speaking is here. What's going on, John? Glad you could make it tonight. He's just getting home from work, man. You worked a late one tonight, brother. I hope grab yourself a warm beverage, sit down, relax, enjoy the show, and have fun with us. Definitely. Wow. The idea of them raising a village behind it, that didn't even enter my mind when you were saying a forced perspective. Emerald, what do you think about a shot like that, using some other miniature stuff in the background to create that depth of field? Is that something you've ever thought about or maybe tried to approach in one of your photos?
Yeah, I think definitely would work. I know I've used that a couple times just with like just miniature trees kind of in the foreground to kind of like just put them out of focus. And again, I think I found these on IKEA. It's like I was going through there and I just went through the plant section. I was like, wait a minute, it's like, and they're in pots. I mean, they're like in little pot holders. I'm like, this might work. I mean, just gotta hide the pots somehow. And yeah, I'll put those in the foreground, and definitely miniatures like those just in the background and kind of just out of focus. Yeah, would definitely provide some depth and be able to create a really really intense scene of them just coming in and just seeing them in the background like that.
All right. Anything back, Jesse?
No, I wasn't sure if I was responding. Yeah, I mean, I've got a nice space at my job where I have almost 10-15 feet of a table space. So if I can put like a backdrop and just get low in the front and get that stuff really far towards the back edge of the table and just line the shot up right. I got to do some more studying on doing that sort of photography, but that'll be lighting is going to be, I think, a big part of it, of course.
Yeah,
So-
lighting's always key. It's yeah. I know there's a couple of people I follow on YouTube as well that do a lot of they'll do like live editing and live behind the scenes of their photography. So I think 1/6 shooter, he's pretty good as far as I think he goes like I think like an hour or two on his live streams, and he'll do like live behind the scenes shooting and break down how he edits the shot and how he lights it. So yeah, really a lot of info out there.
I got to see him do that in person at the Intern for a Day at Four Horsemen in November for the Legions Con weekend event. So it was like a half hour with him in like where he does the photos for, I think he had the Headless Horseman out that they had just done from their figure obscure line. So he was like lighting that all up, and he was like, well, here we do get a couple props here, and then throwing these different, and he would like show us how he like builds it out step by step. It was really cool.
So Damon's chiming in with, again, more wonderful advice. Test shots, test shots, test shots. Frustration, despair, test shots, success. And, sometimes success doesn't even happen then. There's quite a few more test shots.
Yeah.
In between the figures falling, you putting them back out. Trying to figure out, well, what just happened. Yeah.
If I ever find out what that little bastard Gravity, where he's hiding at, I'm going to kick his ass.
Throw a fit, come back.
Throw everything, take 3 hours, stand it all back up.
Go get the sticky tack.
There you go. That's right.
Setting up's the fun part, right?
Right, always.
At least the first time.
Gotta have the sticky right there. I don't think there's a action figure collector out there who opens and poses figures that doesn't have random sticky tack just sitting
Oh
around.
yeah, that's a must have.
Yeah.
I keep finding it embedded in my carpet.
Yep.
Ooh. It's all right. At least you know it's sticky tack and then not, gum or something like that. Like
Yeah.
Connor has a gumball machine here, and if I'm always worried like I'm gonna come across like gum like in the carpet, but he does a really good job of making sure he always spits it out in his hand, throws it away. So I wanted to say hey to Danny Phillips for joining in this evening. What's going on, Danny? Good to have you here, brother. We were just showing off one of Emerald Knight's photos earlier tonight. That is a wonderful Shadow Weaver versus Shira shot, and that was fantastic. And Danny, if you're not already following him, go check him out on IG, and you can check out that photo as well. So, again, just kind of going completely off topic here, but Jesse brought up something that was very interesting, and I kind of want to get maybe what you guys might think about that, and especially in the chat, because we're all hanging out every week and we're having a good time and everything like that. And Jesse was saying he's currently not running a D&D campaign. How many people, again, on the panel and in the chat, how many of you guys are D&D nerds?
I never got into it. I mean, I think it's interesting. I think it's cool, and it is definitely cool when you see guys like was it Joe Mangelina, the guy who's married to
Yeah.
Sofia Vergara, and he's just like a super nerd about it. And I think Vin Diesel's a pretty big D&D person, so it's like that's.
Yep.
That's really awesome. It's like, oh yeah, it's like that's great to like to just get so into it. So I think part of my close exposure would probably just be watching it on Stranger Things when they play, and then getting the little in jokes and the little just the things that they say about it, and the character names and whatnot. So
Well, I mean, have you ever played any of those fantasy sports?
no, I play some stuff on my phone, but yeah, I've never really got into that. So
It's
Like
just D&D
Quidditch?
for sports nerds.
Oh,
like Magic the Gathering, yeah, I don't think I never really played that. So
What about you, Pains? Have you ever gotten in?
We got a starter set. My oldest boy is 6. Well, he'll be 16. We got a starter set for him to try, and he just doesn't have the patience for it. It's not a video game. It doesn't have the lights and bells and whistles. It requires something else. But we got a starter set for him to try because I played it as a kid. But nah, it's just one of those things. At my point, it's just like, I'm not gonna fight with you. This takes 5 hours. I'm not doing.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that. And so Danny Phillips says, I think I am. And typically, if you think, that just means you haven't found anybody to actually run a campaign with, more than likely, because you're interested and you want to. You just haven't found somebody to jump in with. And Sir Clifton has said, not so much. And then we've got Damon saying, I love the idea of it, but not something I've gotten into. My buddy was, maybe still is, a huge D&D guy. Well, here's an interesting thing then, because this just came to mind, and I know some people have done it before. Who would be interested in joining maybe a monthly live stream D&D campaign? Jesse, we might need a good DM, and if you're not currently running a campaign,
I'm not yet. I haven't committed to it yet, but I am trying to put something together for some folks in the Mythic Legion stuff, because we were talking about it with Pete McCarthy on my show a couple months ago. So I don't have anything concrete on that yet, but I'm not opposed to the idea.
Okay, well, who knows? We might have to, maybe we can try to throw something together here as a monthly special where we all might just jump in and do some kind of D&D nerding campaign, and we'll all do it live. I don't think we'll all get up in the full gala of LARPing, but it's a little. I mean, that's just live action role play, so I guess we could live action kind of thing, but I mean, we wouldn't be actually hitting
for our
each other.
characters.
Yeah, there you go. See, that's how we do it right there. We go ahead and we take our Mythic Legions figures, we build ourselves up how we want us to look in the campaign, and that's what we use. I'm liking this. See, we could do something here, and that keeps it relevant with the toys. Toys and games, it's great.
Yep.
So Nolan said he's never played, to be honest, and never really understood how. Well, see, that could be something where if we're playing, you're kind of learning how it goes, and then maybe you might want to join in.
Yep. I think somebody had posted in the chat. I think that was kind of my problem too. I didn't know anybody that was into it growing up, so I just never really got exposed to it. So,
see, I knew you would be.
Yeah.
I knew you would be.
Yeah.
And yeah, Carol's even saying, Nolan, you're not alone. I know for a while, even myself, I couldn't find a decent group of people that wanted to kind of do it. And then when I did, we never were able to, because a D&D campaign can go on for like 3 or 4 hours. Easy. Depending on how good your DM is. Because if they run out of ideas and they're not very creative, then the campaign's going to be very short and quick. But yeah, I mean, definitely it's one of those things where it's hard to find a good group. And once you do, then you can have a whole lot of fun with it. A whole lot of fun. Yeah, I understand, Damon, completely. We all have got, busy things that there's life. There's life. So the only thing I know about D&D, I learned from Big Bang Theory.
That's sad.
Yeah, because it's not quite as... but I want the unicorn figure to be a baby spirit. So here we go. Nolan saying he'd be up for it. Sounds like it would be a blast. Absolutely. And there's ways now too with online that you can keep it honest too. Because the one thing that you don't get when you do digitally is when you do your dice rolls.
Oh yeah.
Like I could just say, oh, I rolled that 20 that I needed, or I rolled a 16 and it's actually like a 1.
Right.
There's digital dice rollers and stuff like that you can have. So that way it keeps everybody on the straight and narrow. You're not getting, nobody's cheating that way. Nobody's getting those perfect rolls. So
yeah,
this might be something we might have to discuss and look into, figure out how we could do it. But I'd be down for it. Lawrence of Arabia Law. It certainly can be. It can be. And that's just like one campaign too.
That's one session.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. I should say that clearly. That is one session of a campaign. You got to remember, guys, like, this is a story that's building here. And
the campaign I play in, I play with a group every other Friday night and in person. And we just finished the first campaign I ever played in. And in the spring, it will have been 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Just the fact that you're able to get a group of people dedicated enough to commit to it.
It ebbed and flowed. There were the DM, his wife, and me and another guy were like I came in 2 or 3 sessions into it. And then I was in it. I think I only missed 1 or 2 for the rest of the 8 years because I went somewhere, like out of town. But, we stayed through it, but then we had a couple people come and go. But we've started a new campaign just recently, and it's a lot of fun.
It can be. It's a really fun game. I've always enjoyed it, as a fun pastime. But again, it's always hard for me to get with a good group of players and have a free enough schedule, not necessarily a free enough schedule, but a consistent enough schedule.
Yeah.
To really go in for a nice long game. And Nolan says, holy man, that's a long game. And mad respect. I agree. That's impressive, especially if you know anybody who's into it.
Only game longer is Monopoly.
I was about to say that. I was about to say, yeah. I was about to say Monopoly.
That's the shortest game I play because I refuse to play that.
You know, give Monopoly Junior a try. It's not as bad, but Monopoly itself, yeah, I don't do it. I cannot stand Monopoly.
Yeah, I went hours one time because I think I had one side of the board and then my friend had the other side. So we were just like, I mean, I pay him, he pay me. We just could go in circles. It
Yeah,
was just like,
exactly.
yeah.
Another one, a big one that can take days. Risk.
Oh yeah. I did play Risk, yeah, growing up, and yeah, that took years off my life.
We got Danny Phillips saying he'll watch it if we stream it. All right, we're gonna have to build something out of this. Yes, when I played, we were up to 6, 7 people, and sometimes one live video call player. Hey, yeah, exactly. See, and that's exactly what it'd be. I can have up to 10 people doing this on StreamYard, so we can actually get a pretty sizable group on screen, and that's not including everybody in the chat that could possibly be able to join in with proper character sheets and all. So.
I was going to suggest Roll20 is a good site to check out for like your on-screen map and like the digital dice roll, like,
yeah,
and then just stream that into your StreamYard.
Absolutely. There we go. See, guys, we're building this up. We can get something rolling. See what I did there? Oh, just lost 6 subscribers. The more dad jokes, the more subscribers I lose.
Oh, continue.
Yeah,
Sorry.
So Thanos Copter mentioning he's lost many a night to Risk. Yeah, you can definitely do that.
Oh yeah.
Risk is an easy all-nighter. But I always play the meat-shied characters and my usual characters are bugbears and or dragonborn. Nice, okay. Excellent. Are you all going to dress up as wizards and things, or is, because Eldor's all ready to go? I mean, some of us could dress up. I'm already looking pretty barbarian. I just really got to take off my shirt. So.
That's a whole different kind of show there, Oz. I'm just saying.
Got to subscribe to my OnlyFans. The sneaky link's in the comment down below. If you highlight the whole description, you might find it.
Just have like a toy list registry as your payment options.
It'd just be all Mondo and Mythics figures.
Amazon wish list.
I'll get new ideas, folks. New ideas. So, Master Versal said that wasn't Shied. It was the Shield. Shield characters, which is definitely good. Need good tanks. Always need good tanks. Pull that aggro, brother. Use that shield. Defend us.
Yeah, Eldor, I think he would be a good dungeon master.
Oh, he would be great for reading it out, man. Oh, we still got to get the recording before our next Legions class. Get him to record and recite our intro now, and then we got to edit it and everything else. Carol's mentioning leave the shirt on, please. Damon says he's scared now. It's all right, guys. Calm down. Calm down. If you're not subscribed to those channels, you're not going to be able to check it out anyway. So don't worry about it, okay?
I mean, you might have these guys taking different types of photography.
Well, there goes my next topic show.
Oh. Nope.
Do a little mood lighting with the little bearskin rug.
There we go. I'm getting that. I know this is not in reference to what just happened on screen, but hey, why not? It's perfectly timed. Carol says street screenshots $20. What, you need screenshots more of me doing this if you catch it quick? This is what I like, because as later the show goes, the loopier and loopier we all get, which is makes for great content. So, who's Pains again? Because you're just getting into doing more toy photography and such like that. Do you have any Mythic Legions photos?
I do not. I do not do Mythic Legions, but I am getting into Cosmic Legions. I'm more sci-fi than fantasy, so
Okay.
Masters hits that sweet spot of sci-fi and fantasy together, and then so does Thundercats. Those kind of things, kind of when they have that touch of both. That's where I'm kind of at my happy place. But I got a couple Cosmic Legions on pre-order, so I'm going to test them out, see if I like them, and then I'll go from there on those.
Right.
Rip your wallet.
Yeah, I saw. I already saw that.
But it's worth it.
I don't mean the price. I just mean with I've met very few people who have gotten into Horseman stuff in their own IP stuff that have not fallen in deep.
Yeah.
It's so easy to, in a way, because again, when we're used to paying the big guys, you know, you pay the big guys and you pay the big price and you see what you get. And then again, you go switch to something like Mythic Legions or, you know, like AWOC, the Animal Warriors of the Kingdom that are coming up, stuff like that. And you're looking at what they're giving you versus this other stuff. And you're just kind of like, yeah, it might cost a little bit more than what I'm paying for, you know, this $20 figure that I just went into the store for. But you kind of feel like it's better value overall.
Yeah,
It's better craftsmanship.
It's kind of like that with Action Force. I mean, I've got all of their figures as well. So it's one of those things where you get what you pay for. I have a Legends collection, I have the Masterverse collection, and I have my G.I. Joe Classified. And little odds and ends here or there with like DC Multiverse. But it's, you know, I wanted to try something new. So when I saw the Cosmic Legions, I'm like, oh yeah, that's in my wheelhouse. I'll look at that and see if I, got a couple to try. I have a feeling it's going to be a rabbit hole that I'm going to regret going down, but space will save me, because if I don't have the space for it, I won't be buying it.
So you say now until you start figuring out how to afford the addition to add on to your space.
Yeah, well, I could just, kick out the older son. He can go live in the garage or something.
Yeah, there you go. Kids love living in garages. Then he's going to start a band. Just buy him a drum set. He'll be all right.
There you go.
So I like how it went from toy photography to Oz photography. Like I'm getting requests for Burt Reynolds, style photos, and
well, you got to have the toys in there with you, not like necessarily you, but like all around.
Absolutely.
Instead of like candles on the floor, it's just
it's
no. The toys have to be in front of him and around him and on him,
laying in them, holding him, provocative, cover ups and stuff.
Well, and you use your Barbarian Oz Mythic Legion figure and have him in the same poses as you.
Yeah, there we go.
Like the old medieval jester, like the mini me of the king that they would have.
That's right. There we go. See, this is it. Now we're coming out with something. I'm going to start a whole new page.
Just add it to the Discord.
There we go. There we go. Discord exclusive. If you want to see it, sign up, become an Ozhole. So we got here Damon saying, yeah, I love the mythics, but can't go into cosmics. Have to resist. I want them, but it's got to be one or the other for me. Okay, I could totally get that. Totally get it. It's a lot to put out there, and for those of us who are already diving into that Mythic Legions, it might be a bit much to go down and go that route.
I have a Robo Skull coming in this year and a Hiss Tank coming in this year. So I have two massive things coming in, and I'm like, I don't know where I'm going to put them.
Well, some's going in the garage.
Yeah,
it's all right.
What was the first one?
Has all the problems.
There's a Hiss Tank and what?
Robo Skull.
Which one was that?
Skeletron is redoing it's basically a flying skull.
Oh, okay.
It'll fit a 4-inch figures, and it'll also fit a 6-inch figure.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Picture a TIE fighter.
Yes, with the skull in the center.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
It's
nice.
bad.
Yeah, those are really, really great. And they are hard to find, especially complete, because it was old vintage toy. You just don't really find them as much now.
Well, they were
So
they were a Palatoy. They were the precursor in the UK for
Action Force.
Action Force, and that was the bad guy's main vehicle.
Okay.
Yep.
And they have a company, Skeletron, is redid it, and they had a Kickstarter and all that, and I couldn't pass it up. It was one of those things that, you know, as a person who collected G.I. Joe as a kid, that was one of those things that I would have really wanted. So now that I can get one for my 6-inch figures, even better.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh man, see, now I'm losing subscribers again.
Sorry.
And Corey, who's watching, has just jumped in. Corey, glad to have you here. He says, "Shave a beast, man." That's about right, you know. Shave a beast, man. Pretty close. And thanks, God. Fantasy is more my jam, but I could see getting into some cosmic for pieces. Absolutely, like a lot of those insectoid aliens and everything like that. Oh my God, they look so good.
Yeah, I haven't really. I've seen a couple. Again, it's this toy store here in Dallas. They sell Mythic Legions, and yeah, just thankfully I haven't like gotten that itch yet, but it could be coming soon. But I'm able to hold it off right now. So, but I
It's a
haven't seen.
deep rabbit
Yeah.
hole.
Yeah, because you can
At
do a
least-
lot with that.
At least with Cosmic, there's only 2 waves, and neither of them are actually shipping yet. So
Yes, I know. I'm grateful. I'm grateful.
Have time. You have time. So Damon mentions the fact that he also wants some Savage Crucible, and then he said, "Ooh, his tank." Yeah, we're all jelly of the his tank. Oh man, probably my favorite HasLab of last year has to be that his tank. It is phenomenal. But for those of you who don't know or haven't been following, Savage Crucible Kickstarted, or their Kickstarter just went live yesterday. Please go check it out. If you're interested at all, definitely support those guys. My God, they're gorgeous. And again, they fit in well with Masterverse. They can fit in well with Mythic Legions. They are gorgeous. And big shout out and hey to Radical Toys. What's going on, Adam? Glad you could be here with us tonight. Look, everybody getting excited again. See, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. New people jump in the chat and everybody jumps on it. Like, you know, even with Corey in here and everything like that. See, got more people getting the shout outs. That you know, it's always good to just see everybody coming together here and joining the chat because, you know, there's been some negativity going around the toy community lately. And it's really it's bumming me out when certain channels are like that. And, you know, I don't like having that here with my group and everybody that's involved. I'm glad that we all get together and we come in and we join in and just have a good time, spread the positive love toys. We're not here crapping on anybody's toys or anything like that. Just talking about how amazing they are and supporting and telling everybody, go buy more toys, which is probably a bad idea sometimes, but do it.
Buy what makes you happy.
Yep.
That's right. That's right.
within your means.
Within your
Yes. Thank you, Jesse. Within your means.
Let's hope
Remember,
it's within your means, because if it's not, we have a whole different problem.
Yeah.
right. Have an Adam on your shoulder reminding you, and this is Adam from Go Figure saying, do you need this? And then justify it some other way.
Yeah,
And
let's
it's always yes, I do need this.
Yeah.
Why are you even asking?
I gotta tell you why I need this. We just have to give them other channels our positive vibes, like Marky Mark says it best. That's right. Give them that good vibrations. Saying yes. Bad influences. I know she's gone down the long rabbit hole of toy collecting again. We have fully corrupted her. She is one of us now. We have assimilated her. She's collecting lines she had no freaking interest just because they're on really good clearance. And I don't know what says I am a toy collector more than that.
Clearance is evil.
Yeah, clearance is awfully evil because you're
it is
definitely
my
picking.
I can hold off on a wave forever. The minute it hits clearance, I'm just like, okay.
Like, you know what? For that price, I really can't say no.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
$6, it's even worse. It's like, ooh, do I need 2 of them? maybe 3. I can use that as a custom.
Right?
Maybe I can do something else with that.
And like I said, you know, you got that Adam on the shoulder, and he's just like, "Do you need?" And I'm like, "Shut up."
Yeah, I got a second. One of the deluxe Beastmen. I got a second one of them because they had them on sale for $16. I was like,
Half price. Half
And
price
there's-
is gorgeous
there's-
on that figure.
there's a third one, and it's just staring at it. Every time I've been in that Target in the last 2 weeks, it's still there. It's taunting me.
I don't blame you,
Really,
man.
really taunting me.
He is such an amazing figure. He was definitely
Yeah.
like one of my top figures of last year. And again, just with the armor and stuff for him, like I could totally see putting that on Mythics figures and stuff like that. Like, you know, when you buy that secondary one or that third tertiary one or whatever now on clearance, you really don't feel as bad when you're just stripping it down for the parts. Because I've looked at things like, well, Crocmaster for one, you know, coming into classifieds. Crocmaster is a gorgeous figure. And again, he is another one of my top picks for last year of figure of the year because the sculpting, the detail, everything about him is phenomenal. And I love my critters. And that
Fiona's
Fiona
Yeah.
is great. And her little babies too that come with it. It's like, oh, I'm not just getting one croc. I'm getting one grown croc and 2 baby crocs. And then I look at that whip that he comes with and everything else, and I'm just like, the leash and the collar, the hook. I'm like, this is my Beastman accessory set.
Yeah.
And I look at it and I go, but for $50, that's a hell of an expensive accessory set. So, you know, and I know Nolan
But
mentioned
you haven't
earlier-
bought any NECA accessory sets. 'Cause they run about
Yes, I
40.
have. I've totally
Well, they
have.
run about 40, so you're not that far off.
And not that far off. No, not at all. And I definitely have. Because like I said, you know, I've got for the NECA aliens and stuff, and even the Predators, like getting those, you know, I think Predator was one of the first ones where you get like the skin bodies and everything like that to add to it and stuff. Just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I'm trying to catch back up with the chat here because I like this. Nolan has said better enablers than haters. I agree. Completely agree. Damon goading on my sister more. One of us. One of us. Yeah, that's right. That's what happens when you start watching these channels. And my sister goes, I look at figures and I'm like, ooh, that looks cool. And yes, now you are one of us. Because I'll do that. Like, I'll get stuff for lines that I'm not even collecting just because, again, like I said, critters. You know, Red Wing from 3.75 Secret Wars style Falcon. Found them at a super cheap price and bought 5 of them. Now I have 5 Red Wings. Are you guys going for the Masterverse Darkland Tuesday at Creations?
I am.
can't.
Yes.
I want to, but I can't.
Yeah.
I wasn't, but then it's like, well, I figured she was gonna be at retail, but then once they announced that, and it's just that little bit. I think for me, the fact that it's you know, Mattel Creations, like, okay, let me try and get in there. Let me try and get it. May not even open her up. May just keep her in the box. So
Right, and it's a gorgeous looking packaging too.
oh yeah.
You know, again, when Pixel Dan was doing his interview at San Diego Comic-Con, they had mentioned the fact that she was going to be a Mattel Creations exclusive within the interview. So,
okay.
like, I was not surprised when this came down and announced that she was coming. I mean, I thought it might have happened. I thought it was going to happen last year. I was really thinking it might have been that December drop, but, you know, the clues weren't there last year, and that ended up being Space Sumo, and we saw what happened with that. It's sat there. Let's see. Damon says he's definitely going for the Darkland because she's gorgeous, and I agree, really is. And figuratively speaking, is making sure to say Modi is figure of the year. Yeah, but we don't get her. We don't get Modi for like another 2 years. So, well, now just another year. But you know,
Yeah, and talking about what's gonna hurt the wallet, it's like I'm gonna have to get that on the aftermarket, and that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I agree. You know, that Modi.
Well,
I'm
the
liking
whole Eternia. It's
I know.
It's probably gonna be $800 or $900 or maybe even $1,000.
It could be. Yeah, on the third market, definitely.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm happy with where Mattel priced it at because it was like right on par with where it should have been.
Yeah.
Uh, Nolan says he's liking her, but he's a little on the fence, and I can't blame you for that. You know, sometimes it's like you really
Nolan,
got to
it's a
start.
wired cape.
There you go.
I know, and it's got the star background,
Yep.
like like you can see like the printed stars in space and universe in her cape.
And it also comes with a cardboard dio for her.
Yeah.
Right,
I saw
very
that.
figure obscura of her.
Yeah.
And Jesse laughs because he knows exactly what I'm talking about. You took those pictures with that Santa. I seen them. And one of the baby crocs is an albino. So cute. Getting back to the Croc Master. I agree. Let me see.
Yeah, but see now that they released Dark Lynn, now we're gonna have to get the sorceress Tila now. It's like, when is she coming?
I know, right? Like,
It's
why
like,
isn't that like a 2-pack?
yeah,
And
it's like,
especially on a
No,
Valentine's
no,
Day
don't
drop.
say that because I want Sorceress Tila.
no, they definitely need to come out with her. So
I mean, I don't necessarily not want Darklyn, but yeah, I'm gonna have to pass on her myself.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say no because I definitely think she looks gorgeous and amazing. Like,
yeah,
there's no part of me that doesn't think she is one of the best looking Masterverse figures that has come out.
I mean, when I watched that second half of that series, I like as each episode went on, I had like a little note in my phone where I was like, "Oh, I hope they make that version of that figure and that figure
Yep.
and that," and they are now, but I'm not as all in on that line anymore.
Right. And that's the other tough part too, because I'm already cherry picking as it is. I've already said I'm not going to buy as much of Revelation style Masterverse figures, but it's one of those ones where it's like, I do really like this one. But I might just have to suffice for the retail Sorceress Evelyn because she is another great looking, gorgeous
Yeah.
figure too, with the bat aesthetic and everything else. And here it goes. Yes, anytime we see wired capes in Masterverse, that's a clue. It's an exclusive of some sort. I agree. And the wired capes are fantastic. I'm so glad that they do that.
Yeah, I had to put wire in my Serpentor and my Dr. Mindbender's capes.
Nice. But it's one of those things where you kind of wish they'd already done it.
Yeah.
But
Well, for the prices, yeah.
yeah,
I mean, you got 2 deluxe prices. They should have done it. It should have been an easy thing.
right. I think Mindbender should have come with a whole desk. like he came with all these great props
Oh, yeah.
and stuff for like that to sit in a lab, but he didn't even come with a desk or anything to put
You
him
don't
on.
even have a lab table for him to sit on. You
yeah.
Well, go check out Extreme Sets.
That's good stuff.
They got some great stuff. Like,
Mhm.
Again, like their little green dungeon blocks and everything like that. We all know what that is for. We know what that is. There's no getting around it. Danny says he's getting 2 because he wants to make one into Huntara. Interesting. And I've seen a couple people say that about with the hairstyle turning her into that character. Damon says he loves the buffness. Some female variety in figures is much needed. They need to do more women and body styles beyond the one we always was. And I admitted I am biased. My wife is 5'10" and strong. Right. And I agree too. Cause like how many, even the She-Hulk figures that have come out are not like really, really muscly bound as she is portrayed sometimes in the comic. Most of the time she's not really portrayed overly muscled, but I think it's a good change up. I really, really do think it's nice to see that difference and variety. I know a lot of people right now are talking because they just released in the Superstars line. They released one of the 2 natural disasters. So now you've got the big man body buck for Origins that was non-existent before. So it's not the fully ripped chest with abs and the obliques and everything like that out the yin yang. Now it's just a dude who looks like he looks like somebody from the world's strongest man competitions, because it doesn't even look like it's fat, but it's not defined muscle in any way. He's got like the
Yeah.
pot belly look to him. And I think it's great. I think that's awesome in there. So Radical Toys has asked me, what did you think of the logo design I did for Sir Clifton Oz? And I gotta say, I've got him up here on my IG, sitting on the side screen here, and he had just sent me a message not too long ago. I'm digging it, man. I'm digging it. It's very, very cool. He's doing Eternian Ellipse, which is great, by the way. And it's very, very superhero, which I'm digging. And Carol mentioning that Damon's wife is absolutely adorable. Love the BDA pictures. All right. Nolan saying Sorceress Tila would be awesome to Yesterverse. I think it's only a matter of time before we get her. I really do. Maybe get her in the new Eternia line. Maybe, because, we're going to go alternate routes and down different roads that we never saw before. Which, by the way, isn't that like going live this month, the new Eternia comic books finally?
I think so. Yeah, finally. I know some people posted the first like 5 pages. And I started reading some of those, and it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good.
Oh, the Masterverse comic?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, Jesse, you work in a comic shop. You guys have that yet? Or is
No,
it
it's not. It's not in yet. Yeah, we have to order everything like 2 months ahead at the comic shop.
Okay.
So orders are in for it, I think, but they haven't showed up yet.
Okay. Excellent. Yeah, because I'm really excited to see how that goes. And definitely, I've been waiting for it.
Yep.
So, and by the way, Jesse, Damon says, right? Love that series.
Oh, Revelation. Yeah, I can't wait for, what is it?
Revolution.
Yeah.
Revolution, yep.
Please, we need to get it sooner. Like, it needs to happen.
And no break. No break between the episodes.
That always...
I think
I can take it weekly. Just don't give me like a 4-month gap between 5 episodes.
Part 1, 5 episodes. Part 2, another 5 episodes. Like, really?
Yep.
No. Give it to me. Release it weekly. I don't mind that. I could totally do that. Make it stretch over the next 2-3 months. Give it to me 1 a week. But I don't even want a gap in between time frame. I want to pick up right off with Skeletor getting consumed by the Horde there with Motherboard. Like, I don't want any time jump between this. I want this one to pick up right where that left off.
Yeah, I just want my Hordak kind of storyline. I mean, it's like, I hate that because I think CGI. There hasn't been any confirmation, I don't think, yet on another season. It's like, not this again. Where you get to the point where you're almost about to introduce Hordak. They did that with 2000X, and now with the CGI and Revelations. Like, can I just get a proper Skeletor versus Hordak battle or a fight? Can I just please have that?
Well,
we all just tried to talk at once.
Yeah,
I think the CG show is fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Definitely, like, out of the 2 series, the CGI for me is the bigger highlight. I love the story that we're getting with Revelations going into Revolutions. I'm a big fan of that. But the CGI series, I like the new breath it's breathing into it.
Yeah.
And I really want to see more with it. Because like they started showing those Savage Eternia toy line. We need more. You can't just tease me with a CGI Mossman and then not give me that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The designs are just so much. They're unique.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they don't look anything like anything else we've ever had.
Right.
So I mean, there's a unique design aesthetic there that it's appealing and it's fun. It's just a fun kid show.
Mm-hmm.
It is, and that's all it's meant to be, and I'm totally down for that.
Yep. And I think the thing that kind of helps it more is that so much time has passed, so you can try something different. Whereas I think with New Adventures, that was like that was coming in on the back end of Filmation ending and the line kind of trying to get a reboot, and it was like as much as like watching it now, it's just
Yeah.
back then it was just like, whoa, this is way too different. Like this is like not this is not my He-Man. What is going on here? So I think that the gap in time has really helped it, and I think people are just more open to change than back then. Because it just
Yeah.
I was just like completely like this isn't what I signed up for. I don't know what this I don't know what this
Yeah,
is.
and the 2000X, I mean, it came in at a good time too.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
it's been
Agreed.
long enough that it would get a new generation.
Yep. Yeah, that was oh, man. To this day, I wish. I think it was on one of the I think the Toy Frenzy stream. Oz, yeah, y'all were talking about that, and that's just I wish that show would have at least finished off the just give us one more season, and then just finish off the whatever they had planned.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was kind of like the Thundercats reboot that they,
Yep.
it lasted a year, and it
Mhm.
was good. And
Oh yeah.
I love Thundercats as a kid.
Oh yeah,
And
same here.
those two shows, He-Man, Thundercats, G.I. Joe, all that stuff.
Yep.
Every time there's something good that comes along for it, it just, then they just drop it. It's like, eh.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on who's watching it, because let's face it, they're really looking for that target audience of the younger
Yeah.
kids, because the younger kids are who's selling the toys,
Yeah.
and that's where they're getting the big money. And if it's just us buying it, and even with that latest report coming out right around Christmas about the kidults being the
Yeah.
biggest and largest growing market group, it's like, yeah, you say that, but you're talking like the percentage wise, it's like 12%.
Yeah.
Well, percent means per 100. 12 is not a lot when it comes to 100. We're not that big. We might be growing, but if we're only covering 12%, that's not even a quarter of the market.
Yeah.
It's an eighth. So really, like, I can see why they're not trying to cater to us necessarily but
you have
even
a 24-hour media cycle too, which has changed, and you have on-demand streaming service that I can watch all 12 episodes of it, and then I can just forget about it for ever
until the next one comes. And goes, hey.
So you have that. There's a myopic appearance to it, in that
Right.
instance.
But I'm just hoping that, again, if we help pass this down, because, I mean, again, they're not really advertising these shows to kids in the way that we were advertised to. It's really kind of up to us to help do that. Like, again, right now, Connor's like really heavily into Dragon Ball Z. So I'm all about watching that with him because it was one of my favorite animes, when I was young, and continues to be. Because, like I said, I'm still watching it for like the 500th time with him right now. We've already sat and watched all of Revelations. We've sat and watched all of the CGI He-Man. And you know what? We're probably going to go through it again within the next couple of weeks here. But real quick, I'm going to pause the conversation and just say, what's going on, Bobby? Glad you could be here. Thanks for jumping in tonight, man. Always glad to have you. And hey, just like my amazing panel of hosts right here, if you got time and you want to jump on, we were talking about action figure photography, but we've kind of completely strayed away from that now. We're just talking about cool stuff that we like to talk about. So if you want to jump in and have no thoughts on action figure photography, please come on. Always looking for some fun here. And plus, you just you're so gorgeous. You add another element to the show, Bobby. Come on.
It's those tattoos, man. Tattoos.
It is. God, they're gorgeous. I want to get scans of Bobby's tattoos so we can all find the hidden cereal monsters throughout it. like Where's Waldo, but where's Frankenberry? Because he does have some gorgeous ink. Absolutely gorgeous ink. And he's even got the Filmation trap jaw. Way to represent for the rest of your life. That's what I'm talking about, because we're fans, we're dedicated, and we're not afraid to show it. I wouldn't be getting on here live every week and talking for 2.5 hours about this stuff if I didn't love it. And Danny's saying, I've literally loved watching all the Motu and Pop Toy commercials as a kid. That's what they need if they want to sell to kids. But I doubt it'll happen. Actually, it's funny because I was just talking about Justin Rush earlier or today, even maybe. I can't remember. Days are just blending together lately. But, from Stunt Puppet Pictures. And he's the one that did all those short stop motion films for Mo Tuesdays. He's also the one that did like the one and only commercial for Origins. Like you guys have seen that where it's the dad setting up everything and like going to battle and talking, and the kids are like coming through and they're like, "What are you doing?" And he's all just like, "Come here, I'm going to teach you." They're all like, "Yeah, going to play some screen time." But then he's playing with the toys a little bit more, and they get curious and they come over and start playing. And then everybody's playing with He-Man. Like that's what it's all about. Like we've got to pass that down to them, and those are the kind of commercials they need to show us, and we need to see. Because then we're going to be like, that'd be cool to do with my kids. And then your kid tells you you're a loser that collects toys and you should probably go buy a PlayStation or something like that.
Well, and the thing is that when we were kids, it was a 30-minute commercial for toys.
Yeah.
Disguised as a cartoon. And then in between that, you had more commercials for more toys. So you got exposed to toys for 30 minutes. Multiple times during that, whether it was afternoons or weekends.
See. Yeah, you're on the bandwagon with me and Dole. We're on the road to exposing how they've programmed us 4 years later as kids. I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm sure it's had some kind of impact. But I'm also not mad about it either, though. You don't see me really complaining that happened. It made some of the happiest memories of my childhood. And those have carried me through the dark times through today. Without those,
well, and we could look forward to seeing something like Saturdays.
Yep.
We look forward to waking up early Saturday, bowl of cereal in your lap, eating your cereal, watching your shows. I mean, it's different now. Now I can go, go flip on Netflix and watch whatever the heck I want. I mean, there's no anticipation.
Yeah, I agree. You don't have to wait for it. You don't have to think about it. But you can also set it up to yourself like, hey, I want to bring back Saturday morning cartoons with cereal and do it. Just do it. Like, be like, all right, I'm going to select a whole bunch of the, new cartoons that are out right now. I'm going to do a lineup and I'm going to sit down Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 or whatever time frame you got. I'm going to pour me a big bowl of cereal. I'm going to sit down and do this. And you know what? I hope to God Connor would be down to just join me and chill and watch some cartoons. Doesn't have to be the old ones. It could be new stuff. I'd love that.
I've actually I've done that just from kind of what we were saying, just on Saturdays, just waking up early in the morning, just putting on. I have the whole Ghostbusters on Amazon, so I'll just go in there and watch an episode of Ghostbusters, flip over to watch some Filmation, He-Man and She-Ra, and then flip over and watch Thundercats. And my wife comes in, "What are you doing?" It's like, "You watching cartoons?" Like, yeah, that's what I used to do. Yeah, I'm still doing it.
Still puts a smile on my face. Rather
And actually,
be doing this.
And actually, I found one, or plenty of videos on YouTube, but they actually do like the actual lineup. They'll actually have like a 3-hour block, like a full on,
Yeah, I've seen those.
Recordings, or taken off a VHS probably, and with the commercials. And that's the funny thing is, like, sometimes I'll just go on that rabbit hole as far as just watching a whole bunch of commercials from 1985. And my wife, and that's for my wife, she doesn't understand. Are you just watching commercials? Like, yeah.
Those are some fun commercials, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
they were the best.
Yeah, they actually had stuff that was. The kids might have been slightly annoying, but
yeah,
you didn't mind sitting through that commercial.
No.
Like now,
you wanted that toy by the time that commercial was over with.
Right? Well, not even that. Like the Dunkin' Donuts commercials.
Yep.
Yeah, you remember? Gotta make the donuts. A guy half falling asleep because they're making donuts 24/7.
Where's the beef? Yeah, there were so many taglines.
Yeah. And McDonald's commercials. I mean, they just made it seem like, oh man, I want a Big Mac so bad. And it's like nowadays you just don't get that. Feeling anymore.
Right. So, what happened? Oh no!
Whoa, that's Skeletor.
Oh no!
Is that
That's
40th
Hordak.
anniversary?
No, that's Mondo.
Oh, that's even worse.
Tell me,
Oh, that's
tell me what happened.
Oh, his hand came off.
Like off, or
Oh no, just off the peg.
okay.
oh man.
We're all holding our breath, going like, "Eee."
Well, when you see that, $150,
Swan dive.
$200.
Yeah, the swan dive off the top of the shelf.
Just
Panic sets in.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
carry
Oh.
on, carry on.
Oh man. It's hard to carry on after that. Like I'm still waiting to make sure everything's okay.
We're all
if somebody
mildly
else
traumatized now, so
I'll carry on. As I think that I don't have kids, so I don't have that to pass on. But I really like that idea of like putting together or Emerald, you were saying that putting together a bank of shows and doing that with your kids. I think that's really cool. Just
Yep.
I have a lot of friends who have kids, and just seeing them, it's just such a different. And I'm not getting on the whole kids these days. It's so different. Like angry, get off my lawn attitude. It's just a different world where everything's on tablets and they're all that stuff. And when I almost never see kids out playing in the yards when I drive around.
Right.
It's just a different reality these days. And seeing you guys, hearing you guys talking about doing stuff with your kids and they're getting into it. Like our parents didn't teach us that, I don't think, in the 80s. That's just something we kind of picked up. And I think I know Brick has talked about this, that the ability to just play even as adults is important, to just let your imagination go and have fun and not just be caught up in all the other stuff. So, yeah.
I'm digging this here. Oz, you and Connor should be our Saturday morning cartoon hosts. This is not a bad idea. I'm kind of liking where you're going with this, Skelly. I don't know. Again, we can't show licensed stuff on YouTube. Might have to set up something on Discord. But my connection is terrible. Every time I try to host a watch party on Discord, it doesn't unfortunately it doesn't work, because we've got this really great idea, and we've tested this. Nolan, it wasn't you at the time, is Thanos Copter, Bud and I on Halloween. We did a little watch party that worked on Discord, but we had to run it from Bud's connection, not mine. So I think maybe we might need to do something like that, but we could definitely. Connor's here on a Saturday. We can run some Saturday morning cartoons. I'd be all about it. And we'll just have cereal and cartoons. Well, that was the name of somebody else's stream. I can't use that. But yeah, we'll redo Saturday mornings. That would be down for it. So, by the way, John, everybody's saying that you've got ghosts. Paranormal activity. Ghost in the house. Hordak came haunted. The ghost of Grayskull through your Hordak. Oh, it did it again. We just witnessed it. I'm having another heart attack here as I'm watching John toss it around. This beautiful piece of art.
He was waiting for Hordak, so I guess this is what happens when you say you're waiting for Hordak.
True story.
Maybe I should go back and check on mine in the office, make sure it's not thrown down.
You might want to go check. All right. And another wonderful host panels here. You ready to jump on, man? Give me a thumbs up. Because you can add yourself. Your partner on here, too. I don't have to add you.
There, I added myself.
There you go. God, it's about time he did something this week.
What'd you say?
So it's about time he did something this week. I absolutely love you.
Yeah, no shit.
All right, we got better get Oz's mystery machine on the case. That's right. Scooby and the gang are going to come over and figure out It was actually Old Man Jones. It wasn't a ghost at all. He's just the janitor of Grayskull. Be cool just seeing you guys do a setup of recreating toy commercials. That could
See how
work.
that would work.
Yeah. Oh, look, Skelly says we'll sell it to Netflix. There you go. That'd be cool. Yeah, have like a Netflix program where I just host Saturday morning cartoons with Connor. Actually, we all know how it would go. Connor would host the Saturday morning cartoons with me. He's clearly the more talented of us. Man, he ran the stream last week with fart noises. Absolutely. You can reenact.
Then you need to run the commercials that you make in between.
Yeah, there we go. We make the cartoons, run them in between the shows. That'd be perfect. That's a great idea. All right. Shadow Weaver's using her magic. Oh, man, we got all kinds of speculation here. And look, is there any doubt, Bobby's the rock star of the show?
Give me a break.
As soon as he rolls in, everybody goes crazy. Panties are getting thrown all the way up the screen.
Whoa.
Dirty boxers. There's people out there in the crowd right now with BOBBY, painted across their chest, stadium style.
Well, I appreciate. Oh shit!
He's lost.
It's too late for that, man. Come on,
That took all of like 2 minutes to make Bobby blush. So
Yes. Another win.
took me 10 minutes to set up, and then it takes 2 minutes to do that shit.
Skelly, if you got time, you want to jump on too, why not? Come be a little unhinged with us. There we go. Bobby, the life of the party. Oh, man, look, everybody already, it's done. It's exploded in here.
Well, I appreciate the love, everybody. Thank you.
Absolutely. We always love having you here, Bobby. You're great. All right, here we go. All right, back to a little bit of the off-topic topic. Premiering cartoons on Saturday mornings on a streaming service might be a good way to get kids back into cartoons and toys.
Yes.
We're all living proof that it would work.
well, the thing is that there's some streaming services that actually do weekly shows.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, Disney Plus is a perfect example. Why wouldn't they?
Disney Plus,
That would be-
Netflix.
Yeah.
Netflix has done several weekly shows now. They still do the whole binge format sometimes, but they've also done weekly episode ones. So,
I think I was just thinking about cartoons. I've going over to friends' house. Their kids or they've gotten into stuff like SpongeBob or Adventure Time and these things, which are just not. They don't work for me, but I'm not saying they're bad. But they're way smarter than the stuff I watched as a kid.
SpongeBob's awesome.
Like
I love
as much,
SpongeBob.
I'm not saying that I don't like the stuff we had as a kid, but
right.
I saw a clip from Scooby-Doo, which I know is slightly before me, but it was on as a kid for me. Scooby and Shaggy are in the house. They lock the door. They throw the key out the window, so it's locked safe. And then they realize the bad guy's coming in the other door. And then Scooby has to jump out the window to get the key, then jumps back in the window to unlock the door. I'm it's hilarious, but it's idiotic. And I was I feel like everything today is teaching stuff and has to have, not that messages are bad, but it's always got something more going on than don't trust strangers,
there's more subtext.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that is just because they're not playing to just one population.
Yeah.
When we were kids, the cartoons were playing to one population, kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nowadays, they're not doing that. I mean, if you look at something, let's take even the most basic Disney movie. There's adult jokes in that movie, and it's there for a reason. It's there to keep you engaged as an adult, so because they know you're going to go, because you got to take the kids to it, and then they don't want you to be sitting there, dying the whole movie. So they have to make it interesting, and that's the same thing with the other shows. Have you ever had to sit through a Baby Shark episode? I don't recommend it.
No.
Have you ever had to sit through, Thomas the Tank Engine?
Oh.
Don't recommend it. When
I've
they're written
definitely
for,
done
when they're written for kids, they're awful for an adult.
Yes.
When they're written for anybody, which is what most of the stuff is now, everybody gets it. Everybody gets to enjoy it.
Yeah, I completely agree. And Bud here talking about Rugrats had some amazing dark humor in it that flew past my head till he was an adult.
Yeah.
I got most of it even as a kid. And honestly, Rugrats, like when it started, it was a whole different show than what it eventually became. Go back and watch the very first season of Rugrats and those first couple episodes. Well, first off, it's just Tommy. It's not even the other kids. And he doesn't talk. Like later, they're all talking and stuff like that. He doesn't talk at all. And it's just this child in an adult world. They eventually changed it. And again, Skelly jumping in saying, exactly, Jesse, that is why SpongeBob is historically important. I'm not the greatest SpongeBob fan. I'll openly admit it. But I definitely can respect any show that ran for as long as SpongeBob did. And so many people from so many different ages loved SpongeBob.
I love SpongeBob.
Yeah.
I watched it a lot. I've been watching it since it first came out, and I thought this is a brilliant cartoon. It's going to make it, and then look how long it's been on now. So it's
the first few
brilliant.
seasons up to that movie, that's when it's the best.
Yeah,
and it's because Derek Driving was involved, and once the producer left, it kind of started going in a different direction. But I had a professor in my doctoral program that was going to write a book on the Tao of SpongeBob.
Well, there's actually a book out there called The Tao of Pooh, talking about Winnie the Pooh and how there's all kinds of Taoist symbolism all through it. And it's actually really brilliant and amazing. So I'm going to go here real quick. And Bugs Bunny, Looney Tunes were actually for adults, and then it went to kids. But, the way things have grown up a bit, as Payne says, more enjoyable nostalgia side. And I agree.
But you also got to realize that, like Bugs Bunny, Tom and Jerry, all those were made for theaters. You saw those before the movies came out. So, yeah, it's going to be more adult stuff, yeah. And Ren and Stimpy, yeah, I remember when that came out, too.
Oh, man.
That was craziness.
Log.
And Ren and Stimpy was definitely not a kid's show.
No,
it wasn't. That's why it was on MTV. It was not for kids.
Well, no, it was on Nickelodeon. Yeah.
Was it was on Nickelodeon?
Yeah, Nickelodeon.
Okay. See, I seem to remember it being on MTV. Well,
It was on later at night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like Nick and not Nick and Night, but I guess what they used to call it. It was like it used to come on before Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah.
Love Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah.
Really, really great.
Yeah, some of that stuff just sticks with. I still have that thing. Don't whiz on the electric fence. It's just like so random. It's just.
Well, speaking of morals of the story, they taught us lessons, life lessons, important life lessons.
Yes, I'm sure we're frequently going to use that. Don't pee on the electric fence.
Different kinds of life lessons.
Well, I mean, we had our PSAs. Look at the end of every Masters Universe show. Look at the end of every G.I. Joe show. We had our PSAs. It was different format. But it definitely was
too.
Yeah.
Yes. Beavis and Butthead. That was another good cartoon. Never meant for kids so much. And the greatest part about that too was that, like, when they would sit down and like mystery. God, I can't even say it right now. When they would just rip the videos. I like Rollins, and like in one of the first episodes, they straight ripped a Rollins video to shit. It's like, man, he would totally kick the shit out of all you guys there on that couch. But it was hilarious, though. Absolutely hilarious. So everybody say big good night to Skelly. He'll be dreaming about the rest of this episode. See you tomorrow. Well,
man, I don't want to be in that dream.
Yeah, no. Keep me out of your dreams, man.
I mean, who knows what's going to go on then? I mean, if he watched that earlier part of the episode where we're talking about my photos, I hope that's not going to be in his dream.
I'm just saying there's more exciting things to dream about.
Right?
Yeah, like hot dogs and vapor rub, right?
I charge for that content.
Oh shit!
Oh man, it's gonna be
Pissing on electric fences, right?
We're off the rails.
If you piss on that electric fence, you're gonna need that vapor rub.
Just don't stand in the puddle.
Can I? I'm not going to throw that curveball. Never mind.
Why not? What are they gonna do? Pull us now?
That's okay. I've only been on 5 minutes. So I'm not invested that hard.
So, I'm talking with my coworker who also is a toy collector, customizer, does all his own stuff. He's not, I mean, just does it for himself, but we were talking because we saw Disney announced some new sequels coming, and someone mentioned Frozen. I love the Frozen movies, but then I don't have kids, so it's been my choice to watch that. It's not been forced. But Toy Story 5, I'll get this right out of the way. I'm not a huge fan of the Toy Story movies. And we were talking like, what is this movie even going to be about? And it just turned into this thing, I was like, well, I'll just go full body horror, like the first one where the neighbor kids taking the toys apart, but like get into the customizer side since that's such a thing now. And then he just like, well, let's just take it further. And they all end up in like an adult toy shop. And so it was like, we just had each other like doubled over in tears just with the one-liners we were coming up with the other day about like the terrified vibrator in the corner.
Woody and Buzz.
It just went really off the rails, and it had me laughing for a couple hours at work the other day.
Slinky. Bobby, get off the lawn. Oh, Bobby. 6 o'clock in the morning already. The boy ain't right. Peggy, get the hose.
Yes. So yeah, sorry to really throw that curveball, but I just
All right.
No. I mean, hey, there we go. Working on future content. Buzz literally buzzing. Yep. It's the sound your mom's germ makes.
You would not believe the stuff I've seen. Oh, because it's a used toy store.
Well, look, if you read the packages on most of that stuff, it does say it's all been tested before. Even brand new, it's been used once.
Well, how many vibrators do you own, Oz?
Enough.
You said they're reading. You got how many that you said that it says it's been tested?
I've been an adult long enough that I've seen a few.
I haven't been an adult long enough. I mean,
Thoroughly tested, Oz approved.
As Bud is taking all of these notes now for Thursday.
That's why he calls himself an Oz hole.
Look, it's not just an Oz hole, all right? If you can't read the title, down there, the biggest Oz hole, all right?
There you go. That's where all the testing happens. You asked me to be on the show tonight, so I'm here.
You have broken Aaron. He's done. His toy samples is completely done. Jesse's broken.
Hey, the other day you said you had all the sharp shit laying around your house when Maniac was running around. So
hey,
maybe that's
just
what
gotta
it was.
protect myself. He uses them to put the vapor rub on the bones. It puts the vapor rub on the bones, or it gets the hose again. See, this is how it goes. We get to around midnight, and everything just completely descends into madness. See, look, even Nolan's crying over here.
Yep.
And Bobby brought the house down. That's right. That's what I said. Bring the rock star on. Let's get this show rolling.
Oh,
the photo talk was just the precursor to the.
Well, what I did is I brought the show down. I mean, you guys probably having an intelligent conversation, and I can't even talk about stupid
Well,
shit.
we were above the gutter prior to Bobby. So.
Look, who
Now
you
we're
trying to
circling
accuse of
back.
intelligence here? Okay.
Oz, you said foreplay wrong.
Well.
Who am I? I don't get to do this on my show. I don't feel responsibility. I'm just saying stuff now.
That's fine, Jesse. That's fine. Apparently that's what Ostradamus Toys Live is for. Everybody else charges you to go on their Patreon for their After Dark shows or their stream. We just say, nah, Saturday night after midnight on Ostradamus Toys Live. Throw the book out the window. Let's do this. We'll keep going crazy and crazy until they pull one of my videos and be like, all right, we found their limit. Testing the boundaries of YouTube 1 week at a time.
Yeah, we're pushing it.
We certainly are. As a matter of fact, if I played Push It right now, we would definitely get pulled.
Okay, here's a toy related thing, not the other toy.
So we're getting back to toys. Okay.
You know it's a bad night when you have to actually clarify this.
Yeah, right. Not adult toys. These toys.
Have you seen those videos going around on Instagram or whatever short videos where it's like that little boppy toy in the little kid section where it's like, say something and I'll put it into a song, and it just bounces up and down, but it sounds like a bed bouncing up and down.
See, I thought this was an adult toy.
Well, so people are like, they just lean into it. They're just like, so it's like,
it's just like they lean into it and goes, and then there's the sound of the bed.
It bops up and down.
I bet it does.
I think someone was like "Daddy" in it, and so it's just.
I don't think this is going where you thought it was going.
Well, I knew it was going there. I just wanted to start it off. I wanted to subvert expectations.
What is that? Carol says 2-minute break from laughing. Please try to take cough medicine.
Well, Vicks will help you with that. You don't have to worry. Just rub it on.
This episode brought to you by. There we go. All clear now. Ooh, I applied Vicks live on.
Got to rub some Vicks in my eyeballs.
I don't know what the hell's wrong with me tonight. I should bring more intelligence to this. I should be acting like this tonight.
Who are you accusing of intelligence around here?
That's deja vu. Didn't we just say this like a couple minutes ago?
You keep bringing it up like we're smart. Oh, wait, here we go again. Damon's the one. It's his fault. So back to the use of toys to discuss the decline of the Roman Empire.
Well, it does go back to the risk game, so we could work on that.
Right. All works back to risk.
Yeah, right.
Risky business.
The Roman Empire is known for No, I don't know.
They were certainly known for wild parties.
Yeah.
John has straight crapped the bed. I don't think I've ever seen anybody use that many smiling emojis at once.
At least everybody's having a good night then, right?
That's right. That's why they come to watch us, because they know they're going to end up laughing hysterically at some point.
I mean, Caligula, right? That's that wild movie, right?
Yeah.
Set in Roman times. I've never
Yeah,
watched it.
It was crazy, yeah.
So you're
I'm
gonna
not old enough to watch those movies.
Well, that's what you said. You haven't been an adult long enough. So, yes, my open mouth origin Skeletor is looking rather perplexed. Me indeed, he's looking speechless. He must say. How does he talk? He doesn't have vocal cords. Well, back to how vibrations.
Logical situation. It never works out.
No, we really shouldn't.
You did say you wanted to send positive vibrations, right?
Putting it back out there into the toy community.
Whoa! What are you?
What's going on here?
I'm sorry, I can't help myself tonight.
It's all right, just keep it up.
Did you ever see the Kentucky Fried movie?
Uh,
Now I'm hungry.
Not after the story I was going to say, but
Wait, what story are we going on about now?
no, forget about it. Forget about it.
Oh, God. Sorry, I was just trying to catch up to some other
oh, man.
messages.
Well, it's hard to get on the chat when you had Vicks all over your hands. I mean, come on.
Well,
You can't sit there and type on the computer.
I can totally type. I type with Vicks on. Wait, what?
We should get off the Vicks stuff. It's getting old now.
I don't think so. Everybody seems to really appreciate Vicks. And for those of you that don't know what Vicks is, it's a cure-all, and they're all going out right now.
See, I get blamed for everything.
Challenge for next work. Everybody send Oz pics of toys. Kids' toys.
Yeah.
Staged in their local sex shop.
Not the flesh-colored worm one.
That's right, everybody. Take your toy collections, go to your local shops and all like that. God, I hope Connor doesn't watch this episode.
What you could do though is you can, once Skelly leaves the chat, that's when you know for him to stop watching the show, because after he left, it got nuts. So
Grandpa left again.
I know.
It got wild. It's not Bobby's fault. It's Skelly's.
You think we would learn our lesson after he whipped us last time about it?
I think he enjoyed it too much.
I know my knuckles are still hurting. So, toys. What's your thoughts?
In the gutter as usual. Bring your
I asked a
extreme
legitimate question.
dioramas to Priscilla's.
We'll focus on this.
There we go. There we go. Quick second back to toys. Bring it up. We've got the bat. It's a battery operated.
See, what the hell, man?
Interchangeable hands.
Should I leave?
Oh no, it's already started down the dark path. We're just running with it now until we get taken off the air.
I think we scared Eldor off.
No. Because I don't think that's not a point he was going. He was getting at. It's definitely a point. Wait, here we go. Damon with the comment of the night, Vic's fingers. Not enjoyable for anyone.
It's in the damn name, rub. You know.
That's true. External use only. When Daz goes to bed.
No, I never said to stick it somewhere.
That's true.
I feel like we need to make a new Motu custom, like Vix Man.
There you go.
He's got like
the big V on his chest.
Yeah, translucent green V on his chest.
Have the lid as a shield,
His fingers are just green.
No. He's got the Roboto arm switches out for different applicators.
Squirts at you.
It has the squirting action of snout spout.
There we go. All right. John threw his head back. We've killed him too. Kid Mephisto with the Crisco.
Oh goodness.
I gotta tell you guys, these streams are starting to become definitely one of the biggest highlights of my week with all of us laughing so hard.
Well, that's good though. It's good to laugh once in a while.
I haven't laughed this hard in a while. Thank you.
That's like Skelly was saying, like with the other week, he hasn't seen Sean laugh that hard in ages or ever. So,
Just play. I'll say that off air.
no,
You can say it on air. Come
just
on.
might as well keep going with it. Like,
Yeah, this is loose cannon now.
No, because that's how I got into my pitch for Toy Story 5.
he walks the battlefield, all silences are clear. He's the #1 enemy of Stinkor.
Yeah, right.
Perfect.
Only keep it for a second.
What, you meant that one?
Thanks, Bobby. For those of you wondering, that's right. Bobby can control the chat too.
That's right. That's a scary thought.
And he don't care because this ain't his channel.
I don't care.
And we started on toy photography, and how we ended up here.
Well, we transitioned with the other type of photography on my other pages. And we just slowly got worse and worse as the night's gone on.
You just wanted to promote
Hashtags
the
toys
OnlyFans
and
coming up, right?
Right.
I think if you have #toys, #photography, that could lead you to a wide variety of options.
It certainly could.
Well, don't use the hashtag bad dragon.
I have no idea what that means, but I'm not going to find out.
Yeah, don't.
Oh no.
Thanks, man. we can't even speak anymore.
I'm calm. I'm good.
I'm censoring myself from saying more things.
Don't. We're good. Like I said, we've gone completely off script on Hinge.
You had a script?
No.
I was gonna say, that's a long script.
Do I ever really look like I have a plan?
No.
Good.
Does anyone else find it weird that for what Trojan makes, using a Trojan horse logo is a bad idea?
That has never made sense to me.
Oh wait, no, it's just a helmet, isn't it? I don't remember. In my mind, it's a horse, but I don't know.
Look, I always just think of that thing breaking open, all these little men running out, and that is the worst thing that I want.
Exactly.
On that particular product. Who is going to explode first? It depends on how crazy this jack gets.
I'm
Again, we charge extra for that.
Yeah.
We've completely killed the chat. We
Right,
can't get
everybody's
anything
done.
but laughing emojis anymore. So how do we recover the show from here? Because I don't know. So yeah, in any case though, way back here, hold on a sec, I gotta get past all the laughing emojis. Bear with me. This may take. Oh God, Danny Phillips has sent me a picture. What did he send now? This will get us back on track or not.
Dumpster fire.
Oh. Hold on a second. Okay. All right. Let me try to find a better image of that to bring up, and then we'll see. Because you guys ever seen the original case for the So Carol's now promoting again my side business here. Screenshots $20. And what did I walk into? Cheers on giraffe. You'll have to watch most of it in the replay, buddy, but it got weird. Gird your loins quite literally. All right. Let me pull up some of this here. What Damon had just, or sorry, what Danny had just sent me on IG. Actually, you know what? I bet you is the picture. I don't think it's going to be on Mattel Creations yet. Talk amongst yourself, boys.
Nolan's saying laughter is the spice of life, and as we all know from Dune, the spice must flow.
Yeah.
True that.
I couldn't get into that movie, the new one.
The new
Watched
one?
like the first 20 minutes of it, and I just couldn't watch it anymore.
Yeah.
Oh man, I
And they
love
still
that movie.
didn't do the big part of that whole novel. There's a tie-in that they haven't done yet. I assume part 2 will do it, but
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out if they're going to tie them together.
Which part?
The fact that his mother is the daughter of...
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm not spoiling it for people who haven't actually read the book. But...
That was a good teaser. You set up enough without giving it away.
That's right. That's how you do it. You just got to tease it a little. All right. So this is what Danny had sent me, but I just went ahead straight to Mattel Creations and thought I'd pull it up there. So
yes, I've seen it. Oh.
Yeah. Asking if this is intentional enough, and you know what? Yeah, it might be. It might be. But I'm not going to directly point it out. Y'all can figure it out from here.
Yep, I see it.
There we go. Y'all seen the original case to the Little Mermaid? The original poster art?
I was just going to say, we got some Little Mermaid action going on here.
All right. Hold on a sec. Giraffe coming up with his green. Toy Photography After Dark. I'm scared to rewind it and see.
See? He didn't even have to hear that section. He got that all on his own.
That's right. Doesn't have to go back at all. He knows what happened here. Then Carol saying, like the Little Mermaid. God, again, speaking of made for adults, there was some really twisted stuff, back in the day. Some of that hidden stuff, I think, is a little bit of a stretch, but that one I definitely... Danny sent me more messages. I can't say that one out loud on here.
Oh, come on, say it.
No, because they will. They will pull the stream for that one. I actually can't say that one. You go ahead and type it in the chat, Danny, and put stars for some of the letters. That way people will know what you meant, and they it won't actually say it in there. Because, again, I think YouTube's funny about those words. But Carol says she still has the VHS, so she's definitely got the cover art. She's got the right
I sent
one.
you a photo to get us back on track.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Let me see. Oh, yeah. That'll get us right back on track. Look at that big bazooka. That's right. This guy's bazooka is huge. Amazing. Wait, did you highlight that, Bobby? I don't remember highlighting that.
I didn't highlight it.
No, I must have.
My hands are free.
Your hands are free.
I have to lean over and do it.
I think you clicked that when you were clicking off the VHS one.
Yeah.
Like
Got
something bumped it up.
Probably. All right, Damon says, been a blast, folks, but sleep has finally taken me. Finish this on replay tomorrow. Oh, yeah.
Get some rest.
Definitely get yourself some sleep. And here we go. Nolan bringing it right back in, pulling it back in, saying great photo. I agree. He looks boss like that, man.
Yeah.
Here was Danny's
Oh my.
comment, by the way, for everybody.
Shit.
She had Coca-Cola on her throat. But yeah, this is a great shot. And is this from Extreme Sets?
No, this was some other small company. It was something I got on Amazon. It was like $10.
Yeah, I've seen that on there as well.
They're like 8.5 inches tall, but they're just like a little corner shot.
Yeah.
And you get the floor piece and then the two sides. If you can get in close enough, you can get a decent where you're not showing the top and you're not seeing the sides. It's
Right.
just one of the ones you'd use for an up close picture rather than a farther away.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, again, just the detail, like overall with everything is really nicely composed in the picture. As we try to get this back on track. Give it that. All right.
That's cool. I like the lighting in there, the way it's bouncing off the top of the back wall and everything.
Hmm.
Well, yeah, because it even looks like we've all been down that hallway with like the fluorescent lights at the top and how it hits that wall and looks just like that too.
Yeah, that's just a little lined LED that I use for actually the lights in my display shelves. I just set it up on top of it and set it to 100%. Then went from there.
Nice.
Very cool. Very cool shot. Bobby, what are your thoughts? What do you like about toy photography?
Oh, you put me on a spot. I'm kind of like I'm exhausted today, but I like it. I don't know. When I take photos of it, I just take photos of the figures just to show what the figure looks like. I'm not into the the backgrounds and all that stuff. I kind of like show off the figure itself, so people know what it comes with, what it's about, what it looks like. But I do like seeing people on Instagram with their photography. I think it's awesome, especially the time it takes for them to do everything. It's pretty neat to me. That's all. I don't think about it too much. I'm not into it that much, but I do like to look at them once in a while. Thanks for putting me on the spot.
You're welcome, buddy. So, yeah, I mean, I am definitely into toy photography. I know I'm not probably the best at it, and I could pick up a few things, but to be honest, I just enjoy seeing so many others and what they're doing that, it's like, you know what? I don't need to rush out and do this because I can enjoy what everybody else is doing. I do want to get shots of the collection, and I wouldn't mind posing up some cool ones, but I certainly want to get more into diorama building and doing that. And then I think I'll probably be more into photos. So Danny Phillips is saying night to everybody. It's 5:30 a.m. and he must sleep. Awesome stream. Well, glad you could enjoy it, Danny. Thank you for being here, brother. So I guess on that note, considering it's been almost 3 hours and 30 minutes for this stream, and we've been all over the place with this one.
Come here.
Oh, wait, here we go. Now we're gearing up the conversation. Oh, wait, look at this. Payne's got his wiener out.
Yes. This is Sir Comet the Third. He had a little ice incident, so he's wearing his cone of shame.
That's right. Yeah. So adorable.
You go night night.
But some more thoughts here from, again, Eldor saying he's dabbled here and there with some Transformers photography. My buddy's Custom says he's really excited to start doing diorama building. I agree. I want to get into that a lot more. And dioramas, photography, they all tie together. And I agree with that too, because like you build epic dioramas to display these figures, and then you just kind of want to document it forever.
Daddy, huh?
You know, because that you might take down that diorama or you might take down that, but you'll always have those pictures that you set up for this awesome, awesome display. And oh, Bud saying he also wants to get into the stop motion photography. Well, you know, I know a guy.
I've done some of it myself.
Nice.
It takes a long time.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Was it Justin was saying like takes weeks and weeks and weeks, and you know, you just get like 20 seconds or 1 minute. But I mean, again, that's part of what makes it so great. It's an art form in and of itself, and it takes discipline to really, you know, capture that. And you know, I can't think of a better way to like kind of play with your toys today than taking some pictures. And again, our memories can fade, but those pictures won't.
Right.
You know, these pictures are going to last. They're going to go on. Some people are going to look at it and be like, wow, that was really, really cool. How did they do that? So very time consuming to get all the shots. Yeah,
Yes, it is.
absolutely. All right, guys. Well, I think we're going to sign it off here and end for the night, but I want to thank each and every one of my amazing panelists, co-hosts for jumping on tonight. And again, John, thank you for jumping on tonight. I know it was a bit short notice. Had a busy day and I didn't have time to set, you know, a proper stream up and do a proper invite. But we're going to come back later and we're going to talk more about your work. We're going to show it off and we're going to bring some other photographers on too. I think that would be a really fun episode to get down on more.
Cool.
Jesse, thank you for joining us this evening as well, sir, and jumping in because I know you do some of the amateur photography yourself and diorama building. You were outstanding at, even though you haven't built too many yet. Like I love seeing your work; it's fantastic.
That's good stuff.
Thank you very much.
And Payne's Toy Samples, thank you, sir, for finally being able to jump on and join us tonight. This has been incredible, and it's been a pleasure to have you jump in here and join us, dude. It's been great sharing the laughs with you tonight, talking about our collections and seeing that. And got to save, you know, best for last, Bobby. Thank you for jumping in tonight, man. You definitely always make it a wild night, have a lot of fun. You know, Skelly and I say every week how much fun it is for the three of us to get together and jump in. And like, I wish we could get together more often and do things more frequently.
Yeah.
Because we just have a lot of fun, you know. All of you guys, you know, it's not just, again, it's not exclusively me, Bobby and Skelly. Like, I love chatting with you guys throughout the day on different social medias and stuff like that and going over things. I love it in the Discord when you guys are all posting pictures of everything of what you guys have.
Yeah.
Following everybody on IG. It's fantastic. So thank you guys for joining us on this journey and showing up here tonight, coming on live and jumping in the chat. It's been great. Just going to run down the last few comments here. Carol's asking, is that where you take one shot, then move the figure a little, and then take another like it's moving? Yes.
Yep.
That's absolutely it. Nolan saying, great stream, guys. Take care all and good journey. Absolutely, Nolan. Good journey to you. Good journey to Ray as well out there. And let's see here. Carol saying, cool. And Thanos Copter saying good night and later, everybody. Duchess jumping in with another great episode for sure tonight. Glad you could be here, Duchess. Thank you for joining us. Sir Clifton saying thank you to the panel for being an awesome stuff. Absolutely, man. You know, we always get we have a little fun here. Like I said, you know, this is that after show that everybody's afraid to do all week long, apparently. Do it live and for everybody. Duchess Darkness saying good night, everyone. And Carol saying good night, guys. Good night, everybody. It has been awesome. And we'll see you all next week for Toy Frenzy on Thursday and Ostradamus Toys Live on Saturday.
Yep. See you guys.
See ya.
Cool.
Hey.
Long, awkward